Another one.
Whatever floats.
Whatever floats.
Yeah.
You'll float too.
Mm.
All right.
I don't really feel like it.
What,
Floating?
doing the podcast?
Floating.
Oh.
I'm
I
already
do
here.
feel like
I
I'm
wouldn't
sitting lower
mind
than normal
floating,
for some
like-
reason.
Flying or
But
something.
then,
Oh,
like,
that's
I'd
right.
have
He
to
lowered
try.
my mic. That's what it was. He said, "Hey, I'm going to lower your mic." I said,
Oh,
"Okay,"
there you go.
or raised it or whatever.
No, but if I could pick, I'd be invisible. If I could pick like a superpower,
There we go.
it'd be invisible.
No.
What are you doing?
Invisible.
He's
I know
yours.
what you'd want.
What?
I put him over
To
there
be
though.
persuasive.
There's nowhere to
Yeah.
put him over here.
That's
He
what I
looks
want.
pretty good right there. Right
Persuade-
where
He
you
can't
barely
sit
see
there
him.
though. He
Just
doesn't
like-
just sit there. He needs
That's
support.
the best one.
He
Yeah.
is
I just
an
would like to be
emotional
invisible.
Frankenstein.
Because you can
I'd pretend to be
He's
a
also
ghost.
emotional support.
at the bank
No,
hand you
you're-
$1 million.
All right.
and they didn't have to. You're not
Welcome
actually
back
proud that they
To the
gave it
Bonsai
you.
Movie Crew.
To the Bonsai Movie Crew. Did you guys not know we were recording?
No.
No, I knew
Oh,
we were.
you
Here we
know
are
that.
talking about our superpowers that we
Super
want.
fucking
No,
superpowers.
I knew.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
know.
we were just like going on to conversation, two different conversations going on.
I figured you guys could talk.
Yeah.
I zoned
fine.
out, I don't even realize.
That makes sense. All right. Welcome back. Don't forget to check out all the socials and stuff down there in the description. That's those. Yeah, them. It sounds so good.
You
Just
don't have
love
to
it.
hit
The
it.
guitar riff. Man.
Reminds
You
me of
shut up.
Bill
I
and
can do
Ted.
whatever I want.
Yeah.
Every time you do it, it reminds me of Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
You should all be like,
That's exactly what it is. That's why I did it. Anyway. Oh, boy. I don't have any internet stuff this week because there's no trailers. And there's not really a lot going on. I think it's because it's election week.
Oh yeah.
So, obviously by this point, the podcast is out. You've probably already voted. Hopefully you got out and voted. And hopefully you got out and voted without the influence of anyone. Yeah, exactly. Anyone.
Other than your own research and your own decisions.
Your own
Yeah.
right research.
Don't do it because Beyonce told you to. Or
And don't do it because Joe Rogan told you to.
Yeah, don't do it.
because it's what best suits you.
I'm saying celebrities in general. Just do it because you did your research and you decided.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, and all them fuckers were paid anyway. I don't know if I doubt Joe Rogan was paid. They're like, what are you going to fucking pay that guy? But like a lot of the people on the Democratic side, them fuckers are paid.
You can be bought, paid for.
You can be bought, yeah. And I'm sure they bought Taylor Swift and everything. All she had to do was come out and say, "I'm voting for Kamala Harris" or whatever, and she got all them Swifties on board.
You know what I wonder is what happened with we're gonna release names with the whole Diddy thing.
That's
I think it's gonna go the way of Epstein.
Mhm.
Now that
this
election
is going
thing's
on,
going
yeah,
on.
nobody cares.
Like they wanted to distract you long enough for them to do
whatever they
what
needed
they were
to do.
doing.
Now it's like, well,
And
what
now,
happened to P Diddy?
Wait, we didn't get any names, but nobody seems to fucking care. We've got our memes and we're laughing about it, but nobody seems to fucking care.
Yeah, you're right.
We're gonna go the way of Epstein about it. We're
Mhm.
just gonna not care, and we're all gonna laugh about it. We're not gonna care. I get tired
Yeah,
of
all
that,
them
man.
people that you were like literally pointing your finger at and saying you were there are the ones endorsing Kamala Harris.
I get
and
tired
I'm like,
of that.
and I'm like, hold on. So what? They just bought their way into saying vote for Kamala Harris, and
now we
now
don't
you
care.
forgot about what they did before.
Yeah,
or
now we
was
don't
that
care
their
anymore.
plan, or do you not care now? I mean, I still care.
I do too. That's what I'm
want to
saying.
know who the fuck was at these parties.
That's what I'm saying. It's the
This
same
is
thing
some
that happened
crazy
with
shit.
Epstein. We don't care anymore, apparently, and
I
we're,
still
we're
care,
all just
and
gonna
I
let it
still
go.
want to fucking know
I do too.
because
That's why I'm bringing it up in a sort of public forum.
Yeah.
Is that where's the fucking outrage?
Mhm. Yeah. Let's get back on that. After all this election stuff wears down and that, like that's
Everybody was so fucking outraged before. Where is it now?
that's because America's got a one-track mind.
Yeah. All we
So-
care about now
You
is,
can't multitask.
No, not at all.
you know,
You're over there
let's-
spitting fingernails at shit. Like,
No.
you're like, what the fuck, dude? Get the fuck out of here with your
No,
nasty ass dead skin shit, you nasty ass.
It was
You
not a
shit- you stay
fingernail.
on that side. This is the line. Keep your
yeah, we
nasty
talked
dead
about this. We have
skin.
lines.
Keep your nasty dead skin on that side.
My arm is not dead.
No, but
Okay.
your dead skin that landed on my iPad here
it's not
is
dead. It's alive.
Good God.
Why do you think it was moving?
This is, see what I mean? Like distractions.
Wait a minute. Wait. If you spit off your nail and it's still moving, that's weird.
Not a
as
nail.
fuck.
It was my skin.
Just saying,
You don't ever get
distractions.
built up skin on the side of your fingernails?
Distractions.
Well,
See?
sure, but if you
No.
She
if
is
you
the
bit it
Taylor
off-
Swift
Stop
of
talking.
America.
God,
but if
I'm
you bit
listening.
it off and then spit it and it was still moving, that is a problem as well.
Yeah, it was moving whenever it was flying towards him.
All right, calm down, fucking Beyonce over here. All right,
I have no words now. I'm done. I got
Jeez.
nothing. I got
you're
nothing.
spitting dead skin all over the fucking place. Just like it's almost as bad
I'm
as
sorry.
yeah.
Was that expensive piece?
Over here, she's out over here acting like fucking P Diddy with lotion. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
I got an endless supply, too.
Anyway, so hopefully.
hardcore.
Oh, gross.
Hey, I'm pretty good at this.
Like, aha! Aha! This bump. Aha! All right.
You can
Anyway,
read that chicken scratch.
so aside from that, by the time you
Yeah,
probably
get off my ass.
by the time you probably are listening to the podcast or watching it, I'm sure you'll know who the president is by that point. So
Maybe if it's not delayed.
I don't know why it would be. Was it
Lawsuits
delayed
and
last
stuff.
to lawsuits?
Yeah,
Well,
that's what
Was
Mr.
it
there's a whole thing about that too,
Whitman,
because like
shut the fuck up about Whitman.
they, there's a whole
He
thing about
doesn't
that
like
too,
that
because
guy.
like in France they went back to like paper ballots apparently,
Mhm.
and they have their election results like in hours or a day or something, and we have computerized ballots, right? And
Mhm.
it takes us days. Like what?
Yeah.
Like
I'm
maybe
sure
we
it's
should go back to
all-
paper ballots.
I'm sure it's all over the news right now with the election because it's Tuesday for us. It is
Yeah.
literally election day,
Yeah.
and I voted early. I voted on Sunday.
We voted
Last
Tuesday.
Yeah, so I did early, even though probably wouldn't make any difference.
I just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah, I
I
did
did not
too.
want to go to the polls today. I did not want to hit those polls.
I didn't
Like,
either,
no.
but
Oh, yeah. I drove by the fairgrounds. That's why there were people in there.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I imagined it was going to be a freaking zoo. I didn't want to.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
there
I
were a
already-
bunch of people in there.
I don't know. I was standing in line to vote, and like we stood in line for like 40 minutes anyway.
Oh, we didn't. We were in and out in 10, 15.
10.
Well, we
Probably.
went Sunday, which is probably like, oh, everybody's like, let's do it early, even though it's really not that
That
early.
early.
Yeah, we went to, what was it, the Board of Education?
The Board of
Board of Elections. That's where we went to. But standing in line and like I put my hands in my pocket and I felt something like I'm like, what the fuck? I pulled a stinger out of my hand. I got stung by a damn bee.
Oh my
I
god!
look down and I'm like, this bee comes flying out of my my like hoodie pocket. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my
I
god!
just standing there, I get stung by a fucking bee. I'm like, all right,
She
well.
probably wouldn't pay the.
Crystal's like, you're not allergic, are you? I'm like, I don't think so. I've been stung by a bee in like 10 years.
She's your wife. She don't know if you're allergic to bees?
He
No.
didn't either, apparently.
No, I didn't either. I mean, you can.
But
You can.
your allergies can change over the years. Like, I
You might
used
not
to
be
love
allergic
tomatoes.
today and
She's
allergic tomorrow.
cats.
I used to love
No,
tomatoes
I-
when I was a kid. I'd eat them like apples. And then when I was like 12 or something, I started getting a rash every time I ate tomatoes.
That's odd. Remind me not to eat too many tomatoes, Dad.
Okay. Anyway,
You miss
so
them?
You're
back
probably
to the
fine.
election
I
thing.
do.
So hopefully everybody's out
I
voting
do
and doing their part or doing their civic duty and voting
said
and voting
duty.
for who duty. I did say duty.
He's a duty.
But anyway, so by the time you're hearing this, we'll have a new. Well, we will have a new president. You'll know.
We'll know who the new
president is.
president's
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah. So
I just watched Wreck-It Ralph last night.
cool.
They were talking about Heroes Duty.
Heroes duty. Yeah, shit was funny. All right. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's
Did you wipe your butthole?
get into that
Is that
creator
how you got
profile.
that medal?
Anyway, man, anybody want to guess who it is?
I assume Jessica Biel.
Incorrect.
Damn. Actually, that was the only guess. No, it's Arlie Ermey, isn't
Damn
it?
right, it's Arlie Ermey. Come on now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arlie Ermey, bud. Yeah, I figured, well, I don't know how many opportunities we're going to have to do him, so I was like, let's do Arlie Ermey. This dude served America, man. And
Yeah,
what
he
better
was the
guy
cop,
to choose to
right?
do during election week than a man who served for America?
You damn right.
Sure.
Now, I got more respect for him than both of our candidates.
He was the cop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I could tell from the eyebrows.
Yeah, he's been in all kinds of shit.
Hewitt.
Huh?
Hewitt.
Hewitt, yeah. Yeah, he was in, oh man, he was in Full Metal Jacket.
The Frighteners.
Frighteners. Yeah, he was in Frighteners. What else was he in? Saving Silverman. That's a great movie. I love Arlie Ermey.
Not that much.
He's in the second one of these movies too. Because
Yeah.
I think the next one is a prequel.
The prequel,
to this
yeah,
one.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep, go nuts.
All right. Arlie Ermey's, I almost said Ernie, Ermey's biography. Golden Globe Best Supporting Actor nominee and Boston Society of Film Critics Award winner for the Best Supporting Actor and Director Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. Arlie Ermey, after more than 25 years in the business, is one of the most successful and talented actors in film and television today. How many of these biographies have said that?
What?
The most successful and talented actors in film and television today. I feel like a lot of them have said that.
I would say he was pretty successful. He made, a fortune off of it.
Well, and especially because the guy that they had in Full Metal Jacket that was supposed to play
The sergeant.
the drill sergeant wasn't doing a good enough job.
Because they brought Arlie Ermey in as
a consultant.
and then he talked to Stanley Kubrick and said, "Just let me play this role."
No, he said, "Let me show him what I mean." And he walked on to the set and he started doing it. And Stanley Kubrick just started filming it. And he fired the guy without telling Arlie Ermey. He fired the guy that was supposed to play him. And he looked at Arlie Ermey and he said, "You want the job?"
Yep.
And that's how he started his career.
He was in The Watch.
In The Watch?
Yeah, it was a comedy.
Of course.
He was in The Watch. Remember, he was the angry neighbor guy.
Yeah, he was.
Having starred or appeared in over 60 feature films. His numerous roles in the feature films include Switchback, starring opposite Dennis Quaid.
Quaid? Quad. Dennis Quad?
And
there's 4 of them.
And Danny Glover.
Glover.
How are you gonna diss on me for all these weird names? Okay, it is not my fault. That is their last names.
I have to interject here.
Oh man,
you actually read
Danny
Glover's creator profile.
Yeah.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I don't remember doing that.
Okay.
Of course.
Dead Man Walking, 7, Leaving Las Vegas, Murder in the First Life, The Frighteners, and Summers by. Is it because of The Frighteners? Have we watched The Frighteners?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that. As well as his critically acclaimed role opposite Jared Leto in
Leto.
Ugh.
I just feel like you should know these people. You know what I mean? Like,
we've been through this for how many weeks now?
She's got like throw
How many
something in.
episodes have I been in here? How many names have I gotten wrong? You guys shouldn't even correct me at this point. You should just let me keep going.
no, because then they're gonna think that we're all stupid. We just want.
I
them
think
to
you're
think
here
that
to
you're
learn,
stupid.
right? We're trying to help you learn.
It doesn't help. I'm not good with names, and there's like a zillion, okay? There's a zillion names we go over like every day, and I can't do it anymore. It's making
Okay,
my
typically-
eyes twitch at school whenever someone's like, "Oh, you forgot my name." I'm like, "Really?" I don't care.
I'll be honest with you. I do better with actors and actresses' names than I do people I know or
Not
people
good
that I've
with
met.
either.
Like, yeah, I don't know you. I know your face,
Yeah, I'm really good with faces.
but like
not with
actors and
names.
shit, I remember them. I know
Like,
all of them.
hey,
Hey, you're not important enough to remember.
Pretty much. It's like you didn't leave an impression on me. I'm sorry.
No, because normally it's me that starts conversation. Like, hey, I just talked to you. Hi.
Yep, Dad.
What's your name again?
Dad.
Yeah, that.
Paps.
You didn't leave an impression, apparently.
No. Anyways, Jared Leto.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Leto in Prefontaine. Sure.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Why are you having so much complication? Why do you always have
Read that
complications?
word, Dad. What's it say?
Prefontaine.
You just lied to yourself.
It's in quotations also.
Yeah, because it's reading the names of the titles of the movies. Get in line, Jesus. He continues. Anyways, he continues doing numerous voiceover roles, which span from The Simpsons to Family Guy to
Don't have
Toy
kids,
Story.
Jeremiah.
He's
I
already
have
got
two.
one. Oh yeah, 2. 1 through 3,
Sorry.
Toy Story 3.
Doom.
You got like 8.
Me? I don't have 8 kids. Fuck, dude. Jesus Christ. You got
got,
4 kids, man. 4. And then we took another one in because we're stupid.
We didn't have enough fun going on.
Yeah, we didn't have enough going on in life. We decided, let's take on another one.
Just to become the highest grossing animated film of all time. Toy Story. They're talking about Toy Story for anyone who didn't know. United States Marines. He was in the Marines, not the Navy. That sucks. Ermey spent 11 years in the Marine Corps, 2 of which were spent as a drill instructor. That's what I said. Marine Corps. I keep saying that for corpsman, too. Because it's pronounced weird.
She said the Marine Corps.
That's how the rest of all the other branches view you guys as corpses. Corpses and seamen.
That's the Navy.
Two
I know,
of
that's what I'm
which
talking
were
about.
spent as a drill instructor at Marine Corps recruit depot.
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 Depot. Like Home Depot? Gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. San Diego, Indiana, Company 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, 1965 through 67. We got this. Arrived in Vietnam in 1968, spending 14 months attached to the Marine Wing Support Group 17 and 2 tours in Okinawa. That's where Dad wants to go, is Okinawa. He wants to see the pretty part of it.
Yeah, I want to see the pretty part, not the shitty part.
Yeah.
It's expensive as shit.
Huh?
It's expensive as shit.
I know. That's why I'm probably not going to ever make it there.
Sponge on the Daniel Russo.
He rose to the rank of Staff Sergeant and was medically retired for injuries received on May 17, 2002. He received an honorary promotion to Gunnery Sergeant E7 by Commandant James L. Jones, becoming the first retiree in the history of the
James L. Jones, not James Earl Jones.
I said James
I know,
L. Jones.
I know. I'm just
He was clarifying for the audience.
for everybody else because everyone's like James Earl Jones. He didn't serve in the military, or that we know of.
Commandant.
James Earl Jones he's the guy who voiced Mufasa.
Yeah.
He's
dead.
Who's the guy? Quincy Jones just recently passed away.
Yeah, he's like 91
I
or
thought that was
something.
James
wasn't he?
Earl Jones that died.
did.
He died like 2 or 3 months ago, wasn't
he
it?
died a while back.
Yeah.
A while back.
Yeah, 2-3 months ago.
It's been
That's
a hot
while
minute.
back.
It's been a minute.
It's not been a minute, y'all.
Yeah, he was also the neighbor in the Sandlot.
Yeah.
Vader's voice.
Vader's
Vader's voice.
Who's Vader in the Sandlot?
Darth Vader.
No, Darth Vader. He did
Not
the voice for
Sandlot.
Darth Vader.
He was in the Sandlot.
Oh, okay. I was
Sandlot,
like,
he was the neighbor.
When he said voice,
Don't
I
remember.
so thought he was going to say Darth Vader, but then he went with Mufasa, and I was like, okay.
Because he was Mufasa.
Yeah,
I remember him from my childhood. Fuck Darth Vader whenever it comes
I
to
agree.
Mufasa.
That's usually the more iconic one.
I know.
I was like, oh, okay, we're going with Mufasa. That's
He's
fine.
got a great
Did you
voice.
change this to...
No, I didn't change that shit. It just keeps updating. I don't know
My
what the deal
mom's
is.
second favorite voice.
What's her first?
Oh, what's his name? Fake Ron
Becoming the
from
first...
Parks and Rec. Sam Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
Becoming the first retiree in the history of the Marines to be
Fake
promoted. Acting in movies. Medically retired in 1971, he used his GI Bill benefits and enrolled at the University of Manila Shore in the Philippines, where he studied drama. Francis Ford Coppola was filming Apocalypse Now in the area and cast Ermey in a featured role. He has since gone on to star or appear in approximately 60 films. God dang! Shawty got a lot. She's thick.
60.
That's not a lot.
John Wayne was in
That's
over
not a
200,
lot.
wasn't he?
Yeah,
That's
something like
60
that.
films.
Yeah, but you got to think
Some character actors can rack up over 1,000.
Yeah,
God dang.
yeah. I mean,
God.
you
And in
take-
most of his roles, he was a military type. Like
Yeah, usually.
even animated.
yeah.
Like Sarge in Toy Story.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The All Dogs Go to Heaven TV series, he played another
I
sergeant.
love that movie.
That's a deep cut. Jesus Christ,
Sergeant Yorkie.
Mhm.
Sergeant Yorkie.
Sergeant
Yeah.
Yorkie.
I love the movie. I never watched the TV series.
I love the movie. The movie was great.
Ermey
Charlie B.
is,
Barkin.
Oh, to All Dogs Go to Heaven. I just recently rewatched that, and it was just as sad as it was the first time.
That's fucking
God,
sad.
it is so
Yeah.
sad, but I love it.
Did you
Itchy
know
and
that
Charlie.
little girl, the girl who voiced
Oh,
him,
it's just
died,
as sad.
Right?
Her story is just
Yeah.
as sad in real life.
Yeah, she died.
Scarred me when I found out about that.
Yeah,
Her
her
dad
dad murdered
killed
her
her.
right before the guy who voiced the main dog got to record the last scene where he was saying goodbye to her.
Oh,
so he
yeah,
had
I've
to
heard
go-
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the
And
same one
record it
that
and everything.
Yeah, it was a murder-suicide. He killed her mom and
They're the same girl who played
shot
Ducky
himself. Yeah,
from one Land Before Time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring you down.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that movie.
Way to go, Madison.
What? You
Wait.
guys brought the movie up. I was just sharing a cool trivia fact.
That's not
Because
cool.
I never had the chance to do that.
I wish no one had ever told me that.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It hits a little harder when you watch the movie, though.
It makes me bawl like a baby.
I know.
is what it
I
does.
rewatched it after I found that out. That's why I rewatched it.
Ugh,
Anyways,
the Grand
Er-
Chahi to win. That's what I always think of when I hear that movie.
Ermey is no stranger to prestigious television either. He has starred in numerous telefilms, including HBO's Weapons of Mass Distraction, TNT's The Rough Riders, and TNT's You Know My Name, as well as Showtime's The Apartment Complex. Ermey starred in Saving Silverman with Jason Biggs, Jack Black, Steve
Want a big Montana.
Zahn, and Amanda Peet. Lee appeared opposite Jeff Briggs in Scenes of the Crime and Harvey Keitel in Taking Sides for New Line. For New Line, he started in the remake of Willard with Crispin Glover.
And it was Harvey Keitel.
Glover. Crispin Glover.
I'm pretty sure it's Jeff
He's got a
Bridges.
weird name. Yeah.
I've been
Briggs.
trying to not say anything.
What happened?
Harvey Keitel.
And Jeff Bridges.
Keitel?
Keitel.
You said Keitel?
Yeah. She also said Jeff Briggs.
Is it not Briggs?
Pretty sure it's Bridges.
Oh my god, spell it normally! Jesus Christ!
It is spelled normally. It's spelled like his last fucking name.
No, Bridges is like Bridges.
Wait, is it
like
spelled like-
London Bridge?
Wait,
is
maybe
falling
it is
down.
Jeff Briggs. If it's not spelled like Bridges, then it's not Jeff Bridges. Because Jeff Bridges is spelled like Bridges.
It was
What
Briggs.
movie were we talking about?
Scene of the crime?
If you
I
were
don't fucking
listening,
Well, then
it's
they misspelled it.
No, Saving Silverman
No.
with Jason Biggs.
Oh, Jason Biggs. Jason Biggs from American
No,
Pie.
no. What'd you say?
I thought it was after that.
Saving Silverman with Jason Biggs.
No, what was the next one? You said something about a movie.
Jack Black,
No.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges.
Scene of the crime.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
spelled
one.
like Bridges. I don't think I said Briggs there. I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's why I corrected it. I'm 99.9%.
Oh, I did say
sure.
Briggs.
Yeah,
I had a
because
secret then.
you said that, and then you said Harvey Keitel, and then you started talking again, and she's like Harvey, Harvey
I was trying
Keitel.
not to say anything, and then he stopped her, and then I was like, Keitel. it was bugging
I
me.
guess we'll
Bugging you?
find out on the playback.
Yeah, the playback, yeah.
I was trying.
I'm
not
about
to say
99%
anything.
sure she said Jeff
She probably-
Briggs.
I was trying not
Y'all
to say
leave me
anything.
alone.
I
have
tried.
these
He
moments-
stopped you, and I was like, Keitel.
I have these moments that happen every time I see a name, and
I tried. Okay.
All right.
she's waiting for me to mess up again.
No, I didn't stop you the first time.
Okay. Exactly. Okay. And also for a new line, he starred in the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as well as the prequel Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, where he reprised his infamous character Sheriff Hoyt.
Hoyt Hewitt.
Hewitt. Wait, is his name Hoyt?
He's
Hoyt
Sheriff
Hewitt.
Hoyt, but his
Hoyt,
actual last
okay.
name is Hewitt.
Hewitt.
See,
He
made
goes
me
by
think I was going
Hoyt so that nobody
dyslexic
knows
again.
that he's.
Yeah,
Hewitt.
it's weird because they changed the last name in this iteration.
They did, yeah.
Okay.
Which
Like
I
the
never
next
really
two.
understood why.
I don't either.
Ermey also
Sawyer made more sense. Sawyer.
Saw your balls off.
That's right.
Ermey also hosted his own show for the History Channel called Mail Call. which ran for 8 seasons and 100 episodes. It focused on military technology, past, present, and future. His most recent show, Lock and Load with R. Lee Ermey, on the History Channel, can now be seen on H2 and History International. R. Lee Ermey has been the spokesperson for Glock for several years, and he is also currently the spokesperson for Victory Motorcycles, SOG Specialty Knives.
That's a man
and
right there.
True Spec.
To be like a spokesperson for both a gun and a motorcycle. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
America, baby.
Previously, he has
Next, he just needs to be a spokesperson for a beer.
Beer, my bike, and my gun. 3 things that don't go together. Or shouldn't, anyway.
Not all the same day, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, he has represented other quality products such as Coors, Nissan.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
He is all man.
He is
He's
like
everything that is man.
He's like the trinity of like manliness.
That's not even it. Advanced Auto Parts, wonderful pistachios.
And nuts.
Car parts, nuts.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Sporting goods, okay,
Cub Cadet Commercial. Medico. Fritos. Geico.
Everybody needs a snack when they're getting drunk and shooting shit.
Black Bush Online. And WD-40.
And fixing
lubricant,
shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ormey
WD-40. I've never even seen a commercial for WD-40.
That's because you don't need commercials for that.
Yeah,
you know you need it.
You know what it is.
You know you need it.
You know you need it at home. Like,
something starts squeaking, you're like, shit.
WD-40 fixes everything.
Ermey continues to be discerning when choosing companies to represent and now offers his personal registered trademark of approval to well-deserved and well-earned quality organizations. Gunny approved. Oh my god. R. Lee Ermey continues in his long-time role as spokesperson for the Young Marines Youth Organization. He makes numerous personal appearances on behalf of law enforcement and the military. And he has made several trips to the Middle East in support of our troops during our Middle East efforts. Ermey recently appeared in The Watch, starring Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, and Jonah Hill.
And by recently, they mean like 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Did I say
Still funny.
Did I say those right?
Yeah, he died. Like
it's been a while
6 or 7 years ago, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. It's been a while ago.
In late October of 2013, R. Lee Ermey released his new book, Gunny Rules: How to Get Squared Away Like a Marine, part self-help, part autobiographical, biographical.
Good lord.
Autobiography. No, I can't.
No.
Biographical.
Now none of us can say it.
Part
It's contagious.
autobiographical. Part autobiographical. Autobiographical.
Sure.
Autobiographical.
Let's just continue.
Peppered with stories from his interesting life in the Marine Corps.
Marine Corpse?
And interesting stories of the making of Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket on April 15th, 2018. Hold on. R. Lee Ermey, the Gunny, passed away from complications of pneumonia. You guys are supposed to raise your right hand because it's in respect to the law or whatever.
I mean to the law.
Or the man. The man. The manliest man. To the manliest man.
Should we salute him?
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for
was
your
never in the
service.
military, but thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, the manliest man. Anyways.
This has got to be one of my favorite creator profiles. Just because this dude is all man. This dude is all fucking man. Fuck.
I literally made the joke about the beer, and then I was like, "Course, okay,
all right,
there it is."
He's like, "It ain't that pussy beer either. That Bud Light you're drinking." All right, favorite R. Lee Ermey movie or show, whatever.
This is the only one I've seen.
Did we do The Watch?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen The Watch, so there's.
So
or well,
what's
she
it about
might
again?
not have been on.
What's it about?
No, I don't think
I don't
she
think
was.
she was
I think that
on.
was Matt.
Yeah.
What was it about?
It's a comedy with
Thank you.
He had
for
to
that.
shoot the aliens in the balls.
Yeah,
He
shoot the
had to
aliens.
obliterate their balls to kill them.
Nope, never heard of it.
Fucking
Fucking
great.
hilarious.
Richard Wade in it.
Yeah.
He
He was the alien. He
Okay.
told him how to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like you have to. What did he say? You have to destroy our balls.
Yeah, it was like our your brains are in your head. Our brains are literally in our balls.
Yeah, he's
Or
like you
some
have to
shit like that.
destroy the balls.
We own that, didn't we buy it?
No, we had it before that. It just wasn't on Blu-ray, so you wanted to buy the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've got the Blu-ray.
We do own a Blu-ray.
I'm pretty sure.
It's a good movie. I think my favorite of his, most people would probably say Full Metal Jacket, but I mean it's a good movie. But yeah, he's got comedy chops, man.
He does.
So it's gonna be either Saving Silverman or The Watch because they're both awesome. Man, it's tough because I ain't seen Saving Silverman in so long. I'm going to say Saving Silverman just because he's got more of a role in it.
He does.
And he's funnier than shit in it. So I'm going to go with Saving Silverman.
I'm torn because he was in Seven, and I love Seven, but I don't remember how big a role he had in it.
He didn't have a very big role. He was an officer.
Okay, then
Or
it's
some
Frighteners.
shit. Frighteners? He wasn't in that very much either.
I know, but I mean, The Watch is funny, but he wasn't really in it much. And then Full Metal Jacket is good, but it's not really a favorite of mine.
Right. He was awesome in it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he was amazing. His performance is what makes that movie.
Yeah.
But that movie is one of those movies, though, that to me, it's like the front half is amazing, and then it goes...
Yeah,
So it's just-
for sure.
I
The
don't
whole
really-
boot camp stuff is
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
And
wonderful.
then once they get to the actual Vietnam War and stuff, it's kind of like, it really falls off.
Yeah,
for
it
me.
doesn't really work for me after that.
I love the movie.
I don't really
think the
care
whole
for
movie-
Stanley Kubrick, though. I'm
But a
not
lot of
huge
people
Kubrick
used to
fan.
come home from the Vietnam War and say, people who were in the Vietnam War were like, yeah, no, that's exactly, like, he encapsulated exactly what it was to be at the Vietnam
I have heard
War.
many great accolades about that movie, and I don't have a problem with it myself. I'm just not a huge Kubrick fan myself. I can't tell you any movie that Kubrick ever did that I'm like 100% about. So-
You ever seen Eyes Wide
It's
Shut?
all right. Yeah. Again, I've seen
That
it.
movie's weird
And
as
Clockwork
fuck.
Orange, yeah, it's great, but it's like brutality for brutality's
It's
sake.
overhyped. The movie's
And-
overhyped.
The book is... I've never read the book, but like from what I understand about the book, there's like a wider point to it, and I don't feel like the movie did a good job of like portraying that. I think it was more like just, look, this is brutal, and
Clockwork Orange was okay. It's not.
I don't know.
It's not I think it's overhyped.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Frighteners.
What'd you say? What was yours?
I don't think you said anything
I
yet.
didn't say anything.
Oh, what's yours?
I would probably have to go with the Frighteners too.
Frighteners.
Probably a toss up between.
Well, you watched the Frighteners with us. You were on for that one.
What was that one about?
It was the one where the dude could see ghosts and shit.
Oh, yeah. That one
He was the
good.
Michael
ghost
J.
in the
Fox.
in the
In the graveyard.
Graveyard. He was the one that had like the guns. He was.
Yeah, he's the one that got up,
He was the one that
started
was like,
yelling.
"What are you
it's
doing in
like,
my graveyard?" Yeah.
I like that one.
yeah.
I like that one more than this one, I'm not gonna lie.
I agree. I agree too.
Yeah.
I definitely like the Frighteners more
No,
than this one.
yeah, definitely. There's no
Yeah,
joke
there's
there at
there's
all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's move on here to.
Let's talk about the movie.
You gotta like label those or
I
something.
do. Well, no, that's what we're at. Is
Let's talk about the
the
movie.
image is still up? Yeah.
Huh.
We did
Wow.
creative
That was
profiles.
foul. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we didn't have any
Moving right
internet
along.
stuff today, so we're
You're
kind
right.
of moving along a little quickly.
Wow.
What'd you guys watch?
Shortest podcast ever.
It won't be. I feel like we got a lot to say about this movie.
Probably.
And actually, I've watched stuff this week. You know,
We did too, actually, but I don't remember.
have you guys
like, a
watched
lot.
Strange Darling yet?
No, it's on the list, and we do. I was actually gonna say we should watch that this weekend, but we got sidetracked by other stuff, and
We still got this weekend.
I know.
I don't know what all we watched. We've been trying to get through Vox Machina, the new season.
Oh.
Have you watched it? Oh,
It's so good.
you made it sound like, oh, it's so good.
Nah, I was just gonna say something.
We watched an older movie called Life. You ever seen that?
The one with Eddie Murphy and
No.
They were just
it
talking
was,
about that.
Jake Gyllenhaal had Ryan Reynolds in it. Come out 2017. They were up in like a space station.
So I just
Oh yeah.
You ever
The
seen
one-
that?
Ryan Reynolds isn't in it very long.
yeah. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of bored, like towards the end or whatever. I was like, this is lame.
The
Like,
ending
it's-
sucked. I was like, God
Dude,
damn it.
no, I love the ending. That was what made it for me because
Mhm.
I was like, oh, this is good. Okay, so it's gonna be a happy ending. All right, so oh shit, yeah, oh man, I was like, hell yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, that was a good fucking movie.
It
was
threw
really
me
good.
for a loop. That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Life.
Life.
You can watch.
It's kind of like it's like Alien, kind of.
Yeah, but
yeah.
there's what I liked about it is that it wasn't like by the book. Like
Yeah, right.
there was so many like ups and downs. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't all horror all the time, and it wasn't always. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it just I don't know. Like
It was good.
yeah, I liked it a lot.
It kind of put me in the mind of Sunshine from Danny Boyle, the one with Cillian Murphy.
I don't think I've ever seen that
whatever
one.
the fuck his name- Killian.
I don't think I've seen that.
You never seen Sunshine? Oh, it's good, man. It's
If I
really
have,
good.
I don't remember.
It's really good.
I've never.
It's the
seen
one
it.
where they're making that trip to this. They have to go to the sun to reignite the sun because it's dying.
That does sound familiar.
Reunite us.
It's really good. It's been out for
Yeah,
a while.
they got like a nuclear bomb or something. Yes, I have seen that. It's been so
Yeah,
long.
it's a good
now.
movie.
Never seen it.
Anyway,
I can
this
tell
movie.
you one you could avoid.
Okay.
The 4:30 movie.
Oh, is it bad?
Oh, it's fucking good,
I heard it was a lot like his old shit. Like,
dude. No.
no.
It's very.
Maybe he should stop with the cameo shit, like bringing in his buddies. All like he's always calling in favors.
Justin Long was the best part.
Justin Long's usually always the best part.
He totally looked like Keanu Reeves as Ted, but like with buck teeth. Yeah,
I love Justin Long.
he was absolutely the best part of
He's
that movie.
the unsung hero of movies. Always,
He really is.
always the unsung hero.
He needs
He's
to get
always
more
one of the
play
best
and-
parts
yeah.
of a movie.
He was really the best part. It wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't very entertaining. Like it wanted to be like this whole thing, like where back in the day where they'd have like these pop culture references in his movies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was always good, because you'd be like, oh, okay, blah blah blah. But there was a lot of comedy to bring it up, right? Like it wasn't all pop culture references and blah, blah, blah. That's all this was. It was just like
Yeah, Phantom's like a motherfucker.
yeah, it was
Sorry.
just just these kids talking about movies the whole time, and it was like
Yeah, it was his.
it was talking about movies and talking about that girl the whole time, and it was like
Yeah, it was part.
I know this. I've seen these
So it was
movies.
really just probably several conversations that Kevin Smith himself has probably had.
Yeah,
with
it's,
other
it's
people.
his coming of
have
age
you gone to
story,
have you
so-
gone to have you gone to the movies with your friends on a Saturday and then had a date with a girl later or something like that,
No.
or like you've had both of those experiences,
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
right?
right.
Combine them, you've seen the movie.
Okay.
He's directing a new Jan Silent Bob movie.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
Last one
something
wasn't good.
different.
Dispensary, like it pops up and pisses Jay off, so he takes revenge on it. From what I gathered,
He needs to come up with something new.
he's coming out with a new horror movie too.
Oh, you know what was cool though? Those trailers that they had in the movies. Those trailers were good. They had fake trailers.
All right.
That was pretty good.
All right. Anyway, so this week we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, the remake, essentially. Do you have a plot synopsis for that?
Yeah. I had it pulled
Well,
up.
let's
Then we
hear
started
it.
talking. After picking up a traumatized young hitchhiker, 5 friends find themselves stalked and hunted by a chainsaw-wielding killer and his family of equally psychotic killers. 1 hour and 38 minutes, rated R. Jessica Biel as Erin Hardesty, if you guys didn't know. Jonathan Tucker as Morgan. Andrew Bieranowski as Thomas Hewitt / Leatherface. Erica Learson as Pepper, and Eric Balfour as Kemper. As far as I'm going, well, Arlie Ermey is the sheriff, but that's like 4 or 5 people down, so.
You know what I'm surprised hasn't happened yet? Texas Chainsaw goes to New York.
No, Texas Chainsaw goes to space.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That's way
Fucking
better.
ain't right. I'd
I'd watch
full
it.
price for that.
Yeah,
I'd watch it.
I watch the fuck out of that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
I'd probably buy it,
I
actually.
mean, Jason X was like the best one in the
Dude,
franchise.
you ain't
dude.
kidding, man.
So I mean, yeah, that's the best fucking part, dude. All right, let's go around the table. Would you watch? Would you recommend? Madison.
I hated the first 3 movies, I'm not gonna lie. I liked this one a lot more than the first 3 movies. So if I were to recommend this franchise at all, I'd be like, you can just skip the first 3 movies, go ahead and go straight to the remake, dude. Yeah.
I'm actually going to agree with her. I'm kind of on that same. I don't care for the old ones. I don't care for the original. I know that it holds a place. It's a staple of horror and all that. But this one right here, don't get me wrong, it's not breaking any new ground.
No.
It's definitely a part of that whole trend in the early 2000s of like shock horror and things like that. Like, how gory can we make it? And how gritty and dirty can we make it look? You know, and that was definitely what was going on in this movie. But that's kind of why I liked it back when it came out. Watching it now, not as good. I ran into Jeremiah earlier, and we already had this.
Yeah, you broke your own rule.
I know. Well, I kind of brought it up, and then he brought it up.
Because he was talking to me about it. I'm like, you guys ain't supposed to be
Yeah.
talking about this.
But we came to the conclusion that like it's just not. It doesn't hold up like it did when it came out originally. When it came out originally, it was fucking awesome. It was it was gory and intense. And don't let Madison fool you. It made her jump a couple times.
I can't do the sudden sounds.
Yeah.
The sounds, I can't.
The jump bumps.
That's
what
why
they
I
are.
like the jump scare games, like Five Nights at Freddy's, is because,
So yeah.
you know.
So anyway,
It
I
actually
would
gets
recommend this to somebody who says that they're looking for a movie like this, like a good gory movie that you don't really have to put a lot of thought into. That's this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I would say, one thing I highly recommend is at least all the like running through the woods and stuff was better in this one than it was in the original.
Yeah.
She's not screaming the whole time, and her boobs are bouncing a lot, which is great because Jessica Biel is fucking sexy. So I'll give her that. Now, why she's wearing the exact same sort of clothes as the original is beyond me. Like,
Because it's supposed
I
to
feel like her character.
It's still supposed to be set in the 70s.
I get that,
so
but I
she's
feel like her
wearing-
character, the way that she's portrayed in the movie, she wouldn't dress like that. I feel like she's dressed against her own character. You know what I mean? She's dressed kind of skanky, got her belly showing and stuff. I'm like, but if you read her character, like if you watch her as a character, you're like, I don't feel like she would actually dress this way.
I think with her character, the only way that it makes sense is in the context of where they're going to a concert. And
Right.
she's with her friends.
A Leonard Skinner concert at that.
Yeah, and it's with her friends. So I think that with her comfortableness with her friends,
Maybe.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't think that there's anything necessarily going against the grain there.
I will.
But if
I will
she
say,
was-
Then it's probably like 100 fucking degrees.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that in that context, it makes sense.
Kinda,
But
yeah.
I get what you're saying. She doesn't seem like that would be the way she would dress.
She
on
seems a
normal-
little more like she would dress a little more reserved.
Yeah, and I think that like on a normal day, you'd be right. But I think going to a concert with her friends,
You're probably right.
you know, that's a little different.
Also, will say this. I like some of the things that they took liberty with in
Yeah.
changing in the story and the plot of the movie. I do like some of the liberties they took with this movie.
They
over
took
the
out
original.
the weird grandpa.
Yeah.
No, they left him in, and he just was a little bit more animated
You're talking about the guy
in the
with
wheelchair.
in the wheelchair? Yeah.
He's still grandpa.
Yeah.
He's just
So I
alive and moving.
would softly recommend this to horror people. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just not a great movie either. It's kind of mid at this point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Especially with what we have now with your elevated horror.
Terrifying.
Well, I wouldn't call that elevated horror. Elevated horror is like Midsummer and the Babadook. Those are that's elevated horror.
I fell asleep during
So-
the Babadook, and I've never seen Midsummer, so
I like Babadook. Never
I
seen
like Babadook
Midsummer.
a lot.
I was.
Midsummer's
really
good
tired.
if you're in the mood for a movie like that.
The only movie I've seen from Ari Aster was
Hereditary.
Hereditary. Anything else she's done, I haven't seen.
I've never seen Hereditary, but I have seen Midsummer, and I think that's the only one I've seen, honestly. But anyway, I would recommend it to certain people, and I would probably watch it again later down the road, not anytime soon. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I feel like the next one, the beginning, is better than this one, but I don't know. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
Karen,
it's-
it's on you.
Before this, the last time I think I saw this, I watched it in theaters, and I
Probably in
remember
2003,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember really liking it.
That's probably the last time. Yeah, I remember really liking it.
And to be honest, I don't remember anything beyond this. I don't know if I've ever seen the beginning. I watched this one. I liked it in theaters. I remember really, really liking it. I walked away from it this time still liking it. I would recommend it. It's like a lot of what you guys said. It's not anything to
All
write
these
home
movies,
about.
pretty much from here on out, get kind of mindless.
Yeah, I mean,
like this one, the next one, and like the 3D one or whatever, and all that. They're all kind of just mindless movies. You know what I mean?
I think that what this one, in my opinion, like you said, I like a lot of the liberties that they took, what they changed. Because I hate when they do a shot for shot. I can't stand it. Like, why? What's the point of making a remake if you're not going to put your own stamp on it? I like that they didn't keep the same characters, that they changed their names, but they gave a little bit of, like, her last name is Hardesty. So they kind of, gave a little homages and things like that, but they didn't keep the same names. But they kept, the same footprint. Right? There's the same amount of people and the same amount, so they've
changed his name so many fucking times.
Well, I'm talking more about like the kids. Like the kids didn't have the same names. So
I get that, but I'm saying
Susan.
like Leatherface himself. How many times did they change
I
his
didn't
name?
like that they changed the family's names. That should have stayed the same.
It's been at least 4 times, yeah.
Yeah, it should have stayed Sawyer. It should have stayed. I don't understand why that changed, but
Leatherface, like actual's face, looked cool though.
Yeah, and this is the only time you ever see it. I did like that they did that. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it for various reasons. We'll go into more of that, I guess, but I don't hate it. I don't love it. I probably will watch it again, but it'll probably be in the same amount of time frame as it's not something that I seek. To watch.
Like, because I thought, I was like, should I buy this? I'm like, fuck it.
It's not something that I seek.
It's not something I'm like, really, I need this in my collection.
This franchise is not one of my huge favorites. That's why
I don't even know why we're going through this whole franchise.
Well, honestly, that's why
I feel like we could have chose a better
that's why I
franchise
thought to watch it, because I have not honestly seen this
them all?
in so long that I want to, and I would like to dissect them here.
Right.
Because it's been so long since I've seen them.
I agree.
So, anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I would. I guess to a certain view. Like if you watch the series, yeah, like me and you said, it was way better back then. You watch it 20 years later and you're like, I mean,
it's kind of like,
It's probably like y'all. The last time I seen it was probably 20 years ago.
The gore effects are great.
Yeah. I'd watch it again, but again, like you guys, it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
it sounds like a pretty soft recommend.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that with these kind of movies, there's no point in watching it like back to back. You've seen it; it's gonna stick. Yeah, all the pertinent information has already been digested. Yeah. There's no point. It's not like one of those movies where, like, if you don't get every little thing, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like those movies that, like, you've got to pay attention to the details. This isn't one of those.
So, it sounds like a pretty soft recommend. Right? Where are the polls at? Is that what you're looking at?
19-3.
Like 3 her, 19 him.
19 red, 3 blue.
Sounds right. Don't get your hopes up, because you know how it goes. You'll wake up in the morning. And you'll get up in the morning and be like, and like, what the fuck happened? I just went to bed.
All those dead people voted.
Yeah, all the dead people woke up in the middle of the night and voted. Anyway, sorry. We stay away from politics. Anyway, soft recommend. Let's move on. Let's get into the reading the movie. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
I'm already down the rabbit hole of seizure words, so we're good.
You know she likes to read.
Oh my god. Oh, y'all are trying to give me a seizure. I see how it is. I gotta clear my throat for this one.
Fucking Alec.
It's election night. Sorry.
Alright, anyways. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. On August 18th, 1973, 5 teenagers, Aaron, her boyfriend Kemper, Morgan, Andy, and Pepper, are on their way to Leonard Skinyard.
Leonard Skinner. Jesus Christ.
Leonard Skinyard.
Leonard Skinyard.
I know it's spelled weird, but it's Leonard Skinnerd. That's it.
Freebird, man.
Leonard Skinner
Hell,
concert.
even one of their albums called pronounced Leonard Skinnerd. Like they even had how you actually say it on there. Like
I'm sure she's
pronounced
never seen that.
Leonard Skinner.
Is it country?
She's like, album, what's
No.
that?
It's like
Southern,
Spotify?
it's Southern
Freebird.
Freebird.
Southern rock.
Simple Man.
None of this
Fucking
is
Leonard
helping.
Skinner.
Won't you fly free?
Give me 3
bird,
steps.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like most
I
of their
failed.
band members died in
I
a plane
failed.
crash.
It's Leonard Skinner.
Where's your pencil at?
It's not. Don't worry about it. Just read the
Where
movie.
is it?
I'm already irritated.
Where is
with you.
it? Where is it?
Just read the
Where
movie.
is it?
It's upstairs. Read the
Why?
fucking movie.
Why?
Give me the. Oh my god. I just want a Decker.
Are you happy or are you gonna fuck me up?
That's a good question. I never know until I get a beating later.
Fucking beat you. Shut up.
Funny. Anyways, after returning from Mexico, where they were supplying themselves with drugs for the concert, as they drive through Texas, they spot a distraught hitchhiker, who eventually gets into their van. After they have tried to speak to the hitchhiker, who talks incoherently about a bad man, she pulls a gun, a .357 Magnum.
Just
that-
357.
357 Magnum.
That's how I say things. Leave me alone. Out of her vagina.
Yes, she did. How she fit that fucking thing up there is beyond me, but it
Which
was
is
an awesome
covered
scene.
in blood. And
Dude, that was a
proceeds to shoot
cool
herself
shot
in the mouth.
too. Not the shot, but like,
But like, yeah, the front view, and then she's like, and then
the
boom.
camera just like
and then the camera goes
pans
through.
through. Yeah, that was cool.
That was a pretty
So,
good shot.
After the startling
No
shock,
pun intended. Literally, the camera shot.
After the startling shock, the group tries to contact the police. They then go to a story where a woman tells them the sheriff is at the mill. Instead of the sheriff, they find a little boy named
Jedediah.
Jedediah.
She must have given them directions to the mill because they don't live there.
Yeah, he's at the mill. Like,
And then they just leave. Like,
they just leave. Like, they know exactly where the mill is.
okay.
I was gonna say, you guys might not. You might say you don't like this town, but you sure do know your way around it.
Yeah, right.
Who tells them that the sheriff is at home drinking. Aaron and Kemper go through the woods to find his house, leaving the other three at the mill with the boy. They come to a
Again.
plantation house where Aaron is allowed inside by the owner, an amputee named Monty, to phone for help.
Hold up. Why did the kid tell them where to go though? That's one thing I never. He was supposed to be a good kid. Like he's supposed to be good. He actually like gets them out later. Why would he lead them there?
Yeah, like, dude, no. He should have been like, "Hey, you don't want to be here. You need.
You
to
don't
go."
want to talk to the sheriff. You don't
need
want
to
anything to
go.
do with the
Yeah.
sheriff. Dump her body and go.
Yeah, that's what he.
Like
should have
that's what he
said.
should have said. Like
Yeah.
he should have said they're gonna kill you. Like he knows how to talk. He wouldn't have had to save them later and get beaten for it. He could have just, you don't want to be here, dump the body, leave. As a matter of fact, let me get in your van and go with you.
Yeah, and then whenever they get to the house, the old man on the front porch, he says, "Wipe your feet. I like to keep a clean house." And then you get in there, and there's literally shit all over. Not shit, but like there's crap. There's like dirt and shit all
Yeah.
over his carpet in the living room.
Well, you notice she looks around like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just, I was like, okay.
Didn't most of them have a conversation about fucking just dumping her and leaving her
Mm-hmm.
at
Yeah.
one point, and then
Yeah.
fucking Aaron was like, I think it was Aaron.
Yeah.
Said like, oh no, we can't do that.
She's got a mom and a dad, and don't you think that they would want to know what happened to their daughter?
You know,
blah, blah,
if
blah.
you think about it, really, she got her friends killed.
Mm-hmm.
If she
yeah,
would have just been waiting, like, yeah, let's dump this bitch, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, no, I get that. But I guess a lot of people would feel the same way.
Oh, for sure.
You
If,
know-
if we were in that situation,
Yeah.
we would be like, no, we're not dumping
Yeah, you
her
can't
body.
just dump a body. Especially, nobody's gonna think logically. Nobody really thinks that they're in danger
Yeah.
until they're faced with the fact that you're in danger.
Yeah.
Like
The
there
only
is
reason
no
why
other
they
way.
wanted to dump the body was because they wanted to get to the concert.
Mhm.
Like, hold on, you still have brain matter all over the back of your van,
Right,
dude.
in a
Yeah.
bullet
And a
hole.
bullet hole through the back window.
Yeah,
Are you just gonna go to the Leonard Skinner concert? Like, yeah, some bitch blew her brains out in the back of the van.
Yeah.
It's cool though. Want to
yeah,
get high?
it's cool. It's no big deal.
You want some weed?
Yeah, you want to get high?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
When Aaron finishes, the old man falls from the wheelchair and asks for help. Monty takes advantage of the situation to grab Aaron's ass.
Yes, he
Kimber,
totally did.
And he did it over and over again. I'm sorry, the first time the dude did it and he smiled at me, you're done. You
Yeah,
can stay on
that's
the fucking floor.
That's what Madison said. Like, she's like, as soon as he touched my ass, I'd drop him and walk the fuck away. Like, yeah. Any person in their right sense would.
Especially because he smiled. Like, okay, if he did it and was like, oh, I'm sorry, but he was really feeling. There are ways that the dude could have done it and like been like, oh, my bad, and like you would have been none the wiser. But the dude did it and then he fucking like.
This movie definitely like one thing I don't like about this movie is the perverted route that it goes that the original didn't. The original had none of that perverted bullshit in it. This one took that route on a few occasions.
You have an implication of it in the original, but there's nothing outright.
Yeah, nothing outright. Like, he straight grabs her ass. There's another scene. What was the other part that I noticed? I can't remember now. But it had something to do with...
whenever he had her head between his lap.
That was one part, but that wasn't so much perverted as he was just toying with her.
That was weird.
It was weird, but there was another scene, too, where it got a little too perverted. I'm like...
Was it the guy?
Huh?
Was it the cop that did it?
Maybe. I can't remember. There was another part. I can't think of it now. It was just on my mind, and I couldn't...
To me, that was the worst one that stuck out to me, but and it could have just been the old dude was just a perverted old dude, you know, but I don't know. I mean, Granny wasn't giving it up no more anyway, so.
Right. Yeah, there's just some things in this movie that I'm like, a little bit much, but whatever. I mean, I guess.
I will say that I don't know if Leatherface was ever meant to be, like, the iconic character. Like, from the first movie, I don't know if they actually meant for him to be, like, the one that stood out and was, like, the iconic character to come out of the franchise.
If you come out with a chainsaw, you're going to be iconic.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, when they first made this movie, the very first one, the original, I don't know if they meant for him to be the standout. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in this one, they certainly went for it. Like, he was meant to be.
I think he was awesome, honestly.
He was.
This is the best version of Leatherface that I've seen.
He 100% is. And they...
Well, this and... The newer ones, I should say, of Leatherface.
Well, I think what they did here is, like, they took that knowing that he was their iconic character that they took in the original. He was that iconic character. He's already been made that iconic character. They took that and they were like, okay, so we know this. Let's use it and let's make sure we do it right. And they did. I mean, they didn't do anything wrong with Leatherface in this one, in my opinion.
No, I thought he was great. The only thing I didn't like was the cutting off of his arm at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that.
He didn't care for that either.
I just thought it was kind of dumb. Especially since he had a chainsaw and she used...
There was a lot of problems that I had with how Erin was with her final girl.
We'll get there too, because I want to talk about some of that.
Yeah.
I do have to back it up a little bit when we're talking about the whole Leonard Skinner thing. Like, why did they have to actually go to Mexico to get drugs? Like, I'm assuming weed.
Yeah.
Like... It's 1973 Texas. I'm sure you can fucking find some in Texas.
I think they wanted to get a lot of it.
Texas was a very conservative state.
Well,
I don't know that you...
Like, I don't know too much about drug culture, but...
The concert was in Texas. They're not from Texas. I don't remember where they said they were from.
I don't know that they ever did say where they were from.
The plates weren't from Texas. I don't think. But anyway, they don't say that they're from Texas. And I got the impression that they weren't from Texas. They were going to
the concert
in Texas. And they were going to Mexico to get the drugs because they were cheap and they could get a lot. And then they were going to deal them.
They bought like 2 pounds of weed or something.
Yeah, they were going to deal them at the concert so that he and her could get enough money to
kind of start a life.
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah. And I know his actor, her boyfriend, he was in Skyline.
He was in a lot of stuff back in the early 2000s.
He was. And honestly, like, he kind of fell off, and I was like, he was kind of, I really liked him.
Yeah.
Eric Bellafor?
Yeah, whatever his
Kemper?
name is. He was in Haven, I believe.
I think I've only seen 1 or 2 things with him in it.
He was in Skyline, and a lot of people give that movie some shit, but I really liked Skyline. I thought that was a good movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like, for what you got out of the movie, I thought it was a really good movie.
Was it an alien movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they were all pretty much held up in this apartment for most of the movie and shit. It was really good. And, like, the aliens let off this blue light, and if you looked at the light, it would, like,
That sounds really familiar.
It would, like, hypnotize you to walk towards them so they could abduct everybody. And that's how they're, like, taking up a bunch of people. And it's fucking wild. But it's a really good movie. But then they did a sequel, and it was kind of dumb. And then I think they actually have another sequel coming out, another one with Frank Grillo. Because I know they did a sequel of Frank Grillo. And the only reason why I wanted to watch it was because Frank Grillo was in it.
That sounds familiar too.
Because I love Frank Grillo. He's a badass. Anyway, keep going.
Kimber goes inside to look for Aaron and is attacked. I thought Kimber was going to last a lot longer than he did.
Yeah.
He didn't. He didn't in the
He
original.
was the first one to go.
The boyfriend
Well,
wipe.
yeah, they kind of stick with the same.
But I thought the guy...
Deaths.
Oh, I guess the guy in the wheelchair wasn't the first one to go in the first one either, was he?
I will say that in this one, Kemper getting taken out, like the boyfriend, wasn't as startling as the original. The original was like, holy shit.
I don't think that you're ever going to get that.
No.
Because you're expecting it.
Because I was
First
really
of all,
hoping for it.
First of all, you're expecting
Yeah.
it. And second of all, you're just never going to get it. You're never going to get that again.
Yeah, I'd agree. I liked it much more in the original.
Well, you can never recreate that. Holy shit!
It's out of nowhere. Like, yeah.
And is attacked by the vicious-looking Leatherface, who hits him with a sledgehammer. When Leatherface takes Kemper's body to begin to make a new mask out of him, he discovers a small black box from Kemper. Opening it, he discovers a ring. Kemper was intending to propose to Aaron. Meanwhile, Chef Hoyt...
Chef Hoyt.
Sharon.
They weren't
Hoyt.
cannibals in this one. At least not yet.
Arlie Ermey, you guys. Arrives at the mill and disposes of the hitchhiker's body, wrapping her in plastic wrap and putting her in his trunk.
So
They made
weird.
fools out of him.
It
Okay?
is so fucking
They
funny
made-
how he just wraps her up with saran wrap. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Was it the part when he was talking about her being a little wet down there? What were you guys doing to her?
Oh,
Was that the
yeah,
part
that
you
was
were
the part I was
talking
thinking
about?
of, yeah. I was like, oh, she's still wet. I'm like, God damn it, why? Why?
Because it makes them uncomfortable.
It does,
I think that
yeah.
is his entire point. I'll talk about it a little bit in my review, but that was probably my favorite part about this. With Toby.
Was that she was still wet?
No, that they build up this thing with them instead of just killing them outright.
Oh, you mean the kids? I agree. I kind of like that. I did like that because they built them up. They let you get to know them a little bit more so that you care more about when they die.
Yeah.
So
I'll say it like this. My favorite thing, what I always felt like Tobe Hooper did wrong with the original is there's a big difference between fear and dread. Fear happens fast, right? So you're scared and then it's over. Like you're
good.
Yeah, we know. So you're fearful. Like every time I start to talk, man.
Sorry. I'm listening.
I didn't do nothing,
listening.
man.
I'm listening.
But
She's rude, isn't she?
anyway, like anytime you're fearful, anytime you're scared, it happens fast and then it's over.
Mm-hmm.
Dread builds and it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds, and then you get scared and then something happens and then it's over. Dread is way worse because there's a whole
And they
build.
do that a lot in this movie with Hoyt, especially.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is like Tobe Hooper, in my opinion, that's what he did wrong with the
He kind of
first one.
missed the mark on that a
It's
little bit.
just fast. Everything
Which
that
back
happens,
then though it was all about the shock. There was nothing like that
well,
then.
the
You know
only
what I mean?
the only dread you get in the first one is with the girl, with the final girl,
Mm-hmm.
and that's only because she just keeps running.
Yeah, and screaming.
If they could catch her, they would have had it over quick, just like they did with
I don't
everybody
understand
else.
how she can't outrun someone who weighs twice as much as her.
And she keeps tripping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like
There's a lot of
they,
sticks out there.
if they could have caught her, it would have happened fast and would have
Yeah.
been over, just like it was with all of her friends.
Well-
In this one, all of them except for Kemper,
Yeah.
he played with. They played with all of them.
Mhm.
There was this big dread buildup, and that's what they did right. In this
Well,
one.
Leatherface doesn't play with anybody so much. Well, I guess
He
he does
did.
with the girl he threw her down in the basement. And
Well,
the
he
guy.
did it. He did it with
Yeah.
the one dude. He cut off his leg and then he hung him up. The one kid, he did what he did, and then he put him in a bathtub, and she finds him later.
Yeah.
He was playing with Aaron the whole time. The only one he dispatched quickly was Kemper, and that's because he wanted his face.
Okay.
They play
Yeah.
with all of them.
But the one that really gave you the most dread, though, wasn't it? It was, in fact, Arlie Ermey. His character
Well, yeah,
gave
but
you the most dread because you're like, holy shit, when's this dude actually going to snap on these kids?
I'm just saying that the family seems to have
Yeah.
this idea of building dread rather than just dispatching.
Right.
Whereas in the first one, it was all about the dispatching. Just
Mhm.
get rid of them, be done with it, and then let's eat them. In this one, it was like, hey, let's play with him, you know? And I think that builds a certain amount of tension and dread that you don't get in the first one, which I really like.
I do too. This movie has a lot going for it that the original didn't, I'll be honest. So, but, alright, keep going.
As he drives away, he tells the youths to leave. Aaron arrives and finds that Kimber is still missing. Andy and Aaron go back to Monty's house where Aaron distracts him while Andy searches for Kimber. Monty realizes Andy is inside and summons Leatherface, who attacks Andy with his chainsaw. Aaron escapes and heads towards the woods, but Leatherface slices Andy's leg off. Leatherface carries him to the basement and hangs him on a meat hook with his feet hanging over a piano.
Except he didn't, though.
He rubs salt on Andy's stump of the leg before wrapping it in butcher wrap and tying it with human hair.
He cut his leg off, and then he sits him on the ground for who knows how long. And then he comes back later, and then hangs him on the hook. And so then he hangs him on the hook, and then he tries to get off the hook, which is incredibly painful. So he was sitting on the ground for who knows how long. Why didn't he try to escape then? Like, yeah, you got one leg, but like...
Didn't he pass out for a while?
I think he was passed out. I think that whenever it came back
because like he was
him,
laying there, or he was like sitting there like this, and then like when he walked up, he goes, like he wasn't acting like he was asleep. He was just like this, and then he goes like this.
I think that one of my biggest issues with this movie, this part especially, is that chase scene between Leatherface and the dude. So whenever he's running and shit,
run towards the sheets.
Well, he's like running through the sheets for like ever. I'm like, how many fucking sheets do these people have? Like, it was like, do you have an entire backyard of like clotheslines or? And then somehow or another, as he's running forward, Leatherface is in front of him and manages to slice off his leg with a chainsaw. I'm like, for one, it wouldn't be that easy for that chainsaw to take off his leg. And two, how the fuck can he teleport like Jason? Because that's exactly what he did. I just don't, I hate those, because it's all about the editing, you know what I mean? And I hate scenes where they're running, and for some reason it's always with fucking clothes on clotheslines. Because I guess nobody owns a dryer. I mean, I understand why they don't, but I don't like that scene. I hate that scene. I'm like, that dude should have easily gotten away. But because of, movie plot and all that, he didn't get away. And that irritates me. I'm like, that dude definitely would have gotten away from Leatherface. But that part really bothered me. He should have been a survivor, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you wouldn't try to get away before you're on the hook.
If he wouldn't have taken the leg, then he definitely would have been a survivor.
Also, I have another question about the van later on. Well, I don't understand. Why did the tires fall off?
They did it.
Who's they?
When they were out looking around, I would assume somebody went over and...
What a stupid plot point.
I think it's pretty good.
I thought it was dumb.
Because it makes it look like they can get away.
Right.
It's another way to fuck with them. They think they can get away. They start to leave. Nah, you ain't going anywhere.
I guess.
It's better than, you going back and you seeing that your car's all fucked up. Immediately you're like, fuck.
Gotta find another way out.
But like, no, you're sitting there dicking with this car that they know you can't get away. You're dicking with it. You're wasting time.
Yeah, so they're literally giving them false hope.
Mm-hmm. It's just another way to fuck with them. I thought it was brilliant.
Aaron makes it to the mill and tries to escape in the van, but sheriff shows up and, after spotting marijuana on the dashboard, orders Aaron, Morgan, and Pepper to get out of the van. The sheriff gives Morgan the gun he took from the hitchhiker and tells Morgan to reenact how she killed herself. Morgan, scared and disturbed by the sheriff's demeanor and under pressure by Aaron and Pepper, attempts to shoot the sheriff only to find the gun is unloaded. Sheriff Hoyt handcuffs Morgan and drives him to the Hewitt house, a drive that includes a brutal beating. Leaving the girls in the van, Aaron tries to fix the truck while Pepper holds a flashlight. Aaron gets the truck running and begins to drive, but one of the wheels falls off. Aaron and Pepper stay still in the truck, but Leatherface appears on the top of the truck and tries to attack them by chainsawing the roof. After witnessing Pepper's murder by Leatherface, Aaron, who sees that Leatherface is
we should have seen that shit, and they didn't show it.
Over his own, runs to escape and hides in a nearby trailer with two women inside, who offer her tea and try to soothe her. The two women...
Why would you drink the tea? Why would you take the tea? And why would you think that going in that place was safe?
Is any different than any other place?
Like me, I'd be like, I don't trust anybody around this motherfucker. The sheriff's bad. you got a crazy dude running around in the woods with a chainsaw, I'm out, dude. Like,
I agree. If the sheriff's fucked up, like
that means everybody else is fucked up.
Mhm.
If they live in this area, they're fucked up.
But again, I think it's the human, the way your brain, you're not gonna let until like you're met with it. Like you're always gonna be grasping at, anything at all. Like anything's gonna save me. I can be saved. I'm not really gonna die. I'm not. You know what I mean?
I'm not really alone.
Yeah.
The two women, an obese middle-aged woman, it only known as the Tea Lady, and a younger woman named Henrietta, who is presumably her daughter, act strangely. After they tell Erin they don't have a phone for her to call for help, a telephone in the trailer rings and Henrietta picks it up and tells someone on the other end she's here. Erin discovers that they have kidnapped a child who, when she sees the baby with them, is the same child in a photograph with the woman who committed suicide earlier. I knew that's who that was. However, the tea is drugged and she passes out when she tries to leave the trailer. Erin wakes up at the Hewitt house surrounded by the Hewitt family, Leatherface, his mother, Luda, Sheriff Hoyt, Uncle Monty, and the little boy Jedediah.
Except he was outside. They wouldn't let him in.
No.
He kept saying grandma, too. Whose kid do you think he is? Hoyt's or Leatherface? I'm gonna go with Hoyt because Leatherface makes cute babies. That's what they said in that one movie.
That's
right?
what they said in Next Generation, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or not, it wasn't Next Generation.
No, it was the one with
It was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. The one with Hugo Weaving.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
not Hugo Weaving.
Or not Hugo Weaving. Fucking the other guy from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. The other one.
Yeah. What's his face? I don't remember his fucking name. No.
Yeah, that one.
Who do you play?
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
I like how he's like, oh, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he knows.
Maybe he's a grower, not a shower. You don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe.
Luda May
That
tells
was part
Erin.
3, wasn't it?
That was.
Yeah, it was part
Yeah, it was
3.
part 3.
Yeah,
It was
'cause part
supposed to be
2
a
was,
funny
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Luda May tells Erin that her excuse for her son Thomas's actions is that her son was tormented by teenagers and that she felt no one cared for her family besides themselves. Erin is taken to the basement where she finds Andy. She tries to help him off the meat hook, but when he sees he will land on the piano keys and alert Leatherface, he begs her to kill him, which she does, though suffering severe emotional trauma. Afterwards, they don't want to alert him by making him land on the piano, but she screams.
Well, not to mention, not only does she scream, but also
He already knows
he's looking anyway.
there's
He's watching him the whole
down.
time.
Well, I just have a question about the basement in general. That's the basement, right?
yeah.
Why is it filled with water?
It is really wet down there.
'Cause
Like,
it's
is
raining
every
and it's
fucking
leaking.
no? Like, it's
not
not
raining, though.
first of all, and second
I
of
thought it was raining.
It's not raining.
it's not
Busted
raining
pipes.
anywhere. That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like,
what I mean,
how
maybe
many
a busted
busted pipes
pipe.
do you have, and
Yeah.
how often are people taking showers?
Not
How often
yet. It
is
starts
water
raining later,
running?
doesn't
Or
Like,
maybe there's just water. Their water line is leaking.
it starts raining.
their water bill must suck.
Yeah.
It starts raining
Are
later.
they really
doesn't
going to
It
pay
does,
it,
yeah.
though?
I would think they'd have to. That's going to draw some attention.
I think they just club everybody that comes out there to
I
try to
think they do,
collect.
too.
I think that's going to draw some attention.
You would
Why?
think it would. Like,
Why?
I'm just,
how many people do you get to murder before you get
questions
caught?
about the water in the basement is what
Yeah.
I'm getting at. It just is if every water pipe in your basement is leaking, even if you have a well, eventually that's causing a problem. Wells run dry.
Well, not to mention, like, it's also a massive problem because the size of the house itself, it would sink. It would start to collapse. It's not good. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you can't
gonna
have
rot.
a pool in your basement like that and it just be
It's just gonna
okay.
rot,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's probably, you know what? I guess it doesn't matter.
Movie
it's just,
magic,
It's
man.
just the fuck.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, the
That's all
problem
I'm
we
getting.
had.
Yeah,
Heavy
well,
It's all
rains
about
and just-
ambiance,
Like,
okay?
yeah,
Whenever Leatherface
you know what,
knows
you're
he's
right,
gonna have
you're
another
right,
victim,
you're-
he's like, "Gotta turn the water on.
Yep,
Gotta
yep,
fill
you're
up the basement,
I
guys."
bet, you know what? I bet he had it like sealed.
Yeah.
to a certain like point.
Yeah, so that it
So
would
you
run
still-
off.
so
So it
you
only
s-
stays at a certain
Yeah,
depth.
so it still looks like a basement, right? But there's like if you drain it, there's like a pool liner
Yeah.
up to a certain point.
Yeah. And he's got a
now
drain
we're
that runs
thinking.
out to
See?
the local creek.
See, we
Yeah.
figured it out.
Like, because I'm sure
We
that
got
like Hoyt and them
ideas.
were like, you can do it, but you got to do it right.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. Because Mom lets him have whatever he wants.
Mhm.
We figured that out. Mom lets him have whatever he wants. So I bet Mom said you could have a pool in the basement,
Have a
but
pool in the
only
basement.
3 feet.
Only 3 inches.
Well, I'm sure she gave him up to 3 feet because in some places it came up to her knees.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
When she got over there by like where that bathtub was?
3 feet, though, would it? That'd be like 2
depends
feet.
Maybe
on how
2 feet.
tall she is, I guess. But
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying.
how tall she is.
Yeah.
I'd like to know though.
Anyways,
We should arrange this. For me to
Okay.
meet her.
I'll get right on it
Just
because we're
find out
friends.
how tall you are.
Yeah, we're friends and all. I'll just get right on that.
Justin Timberlake, he's just an alcoholic, so out there
Anyways.
getting all them DUIs and shit.
afterwards, she finds Morgan, who is still handcuffed. Jedediah, who clearly does not agree with the actions of his family, leads them out of the house. Jedediah rejects Aaron's plea to come with them rather than stay there and distracts Leatherface long enough for them to escape.
5'7".
She's 5'7".
Okay.
So, about that long. Yeah. I'm 5'7". I'm just saying.
She's not that tall. She looks taller in the movie.
She was wearing those boot things or whatever too.
5'7", hell. She's not my height.
Timberlake's 6 foot.
She is your height.
Who?
Timberlake.
Or I'm
Is he?
5'6".
He's 6
He's
foot.
5'7".
I'm 5'10".
I'm 5 years old.
I'm a
Okay,
foot,
anyways.
foot and a half.
foot and a half.
And a half.
Aaron and Morgan find an abandoned shack in the woods and barricade
You know,
themselves
you know.
inside. How does he keep finding them? Like,
He knows these woods and shit like the back of his fucking hand.
so? There are zillions of places for them to go to. Like,
I don't know why they keep choosing obvious fucking places. Like, why would you go hide in this little abandoned
whenever you
house?
can choose.
Like it's the only
woods.
house in there in the woods. He's gonna look
He's
in
gonna
there.
Right,
look
but
in
like,
there.
it's dark. Go hide in the
And
woods.
then she shoves him in like this closet thing, and I'm like, he's gonna look there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if he finds him, there's nowhere he can go. He's gonna die. And then she goes and hides herself in a little cubby hole. I'm like, you did that shit on purpose. You're using him as a decoy. That's exactly what you're doing. You're using his
Nobody
ass
likes
as
him
bait.
anyways. And then whenever he's like, go, run.
And she's like,
She's like,
sure.
okay. And runs.
I didn't do that on purpose at all.
Look, that scene in the house. So they get the chainsaw away from him.
Yeah, how many times did he
Fantastic.
drop the fucking chainsaw? And I'm like, pick up the chainsaw.
Yeah. They get the chainsaw away from him and then proceed to jump and kick and punch the biggest motherfucker in Texas.
Not even kidding.
And they're not even 100 pounds soaking wet between the two of them.
Yeah.
Pick up the goddamn
That's what I
chainsaw!
said. He dropped it like 3 times in this movie. I'm like, pick it up.
And then
Pick
she
it up.
proceeds to go into the next room. and
Once
grab
you
a
pick it
butcher
up,
knife.
you've got the upper hand, dude. Like, literally. We
No, that's just
done.
the first instance we're talking about in the house. And
Oh,
then he
yeah.
picks it up and fucking eviscerates
And they're like
her friend.
smacking him.
Like, yeah, she jumps on his back and then he's like, like, it's
right? I'm like, dude.
Yeah,
what?
and then,
It's
like-
right.
if she was behind him, she would have been in their prime location.
He
to just-
literally, like, doesn't have the chainsaw, picks that dude up, puts him on the fucking chandelier, which I don't know how the fucking holds him. But, and then the whole time she's sitting there, like, looking at it all
Oh,
happen. I'm
no.
like, pick up the chainsaw, dude. Like,
Yeah, worst thing's gonna happen is your friend's gonna have
he's
some
got your
nerve
friend
damage.
in his hands. What's he
Yeah.
gonna do?
I mean,
pick up that chainsaw, dude. Take out a leg.
Mm.
I didn't understand. I was like, oh, you are the worst final girl.
Mhm.
I don't know what I did. Oh, I didn't press anything. Okay.
Anyways, Leatherface breaks in and discovers Aaron, but before he can slice her in half, Morgan attacks Leatherface, causing him to drop his chainsaw. Morgan grabs him and wrestles him, but Leatherface lifts Morgan upward toward a chandelier, where Morgan becomes entangled by his handcuffs and is left hanging and defenseless. Leatherface picks up the chainsaw, slicing up into Morgan's groin, killing him. Yeah, that sucks.
I was really hoping he was just going to keep going up with it, and he just
Kind of
stops.
like they do in The Terrifier.
Like, that dude doesn't have a penis anymore, but he could have survived.
Kind
He's
of
got a
main
larger
artery.
butt crack now.
Probably would have bled out.
Yeah.
True.
Leatherface picks up his chainsaw slate. I already read that. Aaron runs out of the shack and escapes through the woods. Leatherface trips on a fence and cuts his leg while pursuing her. Aaron finds a slaughterhouse and hides in a locker. Leatherface opens a locker across from hers.
You just call him Featherface?
I said Leatherface.
Wait a minute.
I'm
So
Birdman!
she runs up and she sees Blair Meat Company or Blair Meat.
And
Company,
decides
whatever.
I should go in there.
Well, not just that. She runs in and knowing where she is, right? Opens up a meat locker, right?
Let's hide in a rib cage.
She opens up a meat locker and then sees meat and starts screaming.
Yeah.
Like she didn't know where she was.
That was the dumbest shit. I'm like, why are you screaming? You're just giving your position away.
She has not annoyed me with her screaming, not once. Until that moment, I'm like, you're in a meat plant and you opened the freezer.
You just saw
What
your
did you
friends get
expect to
hacked
see
up.
in there?
These are just dead cows.
Yeah, so I was
Pigs.
like, what did you expect to see in there?
Yeah.
Exactly. And why is that scaring you?
Yeah.
After everything you've seen, dead cows scare
Like
you?
at the very most, all I needed to hear was a and then you keep going, okay?
She's a
You just keep
vegetarian.
walking.
Oh, but you guys did notice that she got the wet shirt thing going though. Like they had
yeah, I noticed.
Okay.
What, I look like an idiot?
Just making sure. I know you didn't.
I didn't notice.
Did you, though?
No,
Aaron?
seriously. Ask her.
I'm sure he didn't. I notice things about women that he doesn't.
I know.
Like a chick could be hitting on me and I wouldn't even know.
Anyways,
I'm not kidding.
I wouldn't know either if a girl was hitting on me.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh.
Aaron finds a slaughterhouse and
There's
hides
literally
in a
been
locker.
times I'd be like, did you see the rack on that girl? And he'd be like, what girl?
Sorry, I was looking at the bacon. I'm hungry.
Sausage, not bacon.
Yeah.
Sausage.
I'm a sausage guy, not a bacon guy.
Okay. Leatherface opens the locker across
Sounds
from
so
hers,
gay.
and she attacks him with a meat cleaver,
I'm wearing a lesbian
This
shirt
part
anyway.
really bothered me.
chopping his arm right off.
She attacked him with a fucking meat cleaver, chopped his arm off, and then ran away.
While the chainsaw was still there.
Just-
Yeah,
Pick
And-
it up.
Hey, bitch, you got 2 arms.
and he was rolling around on the ground, so like,
Yeah, pick it up. You have the advantage now. You could end all of this. And just take that bitch right to his throat. Whatever you got to do. Like, stick it in him. Whatever.
Now
Like,
that we're talking about the movie, it seems so absurd now.
yeah,
So like, yeah, I'd recommend it. Yeah, I probably won't watch
Oh,
it.
no,
but
I
then
would
you
recommend
go through,
it because
then you
there-
go through it all, and then you're like,
here's the thing.
Why
yeah,
did
because
you
of
do
the
that?
logic in the movie, you're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck were
this
you
is why
thinking?
But-
it's a
but-
no-brainer movie.
But, let's be honest here. There is no movie, no horror movie that is like this, right? Like these slasher films. Name one that doesn't have these kind of problems.
These moments where
Yeah.
you're like,
Except
why did you
for-
do that?
Except for, and you'll agree with me here, like 3, 4, and 5 of the Nightmare franchise, 3, 4, and 5 are really pretty solid.
yeah, I would say so.
first the Scream movies were
Well,
pretty solid.
one is pretty solid too, but
Yeah.
Scream, the original
Scream,
trilogy was
but
pretty
Scream is
solid.
by design.
Yeah.
Scream
Well-
is by design. Scream is sort of like taking those
I was gonna
these
say,
kind of things.
Yeah,
And
and,
dissect
kind of
it.
calling
fair
them
enough.
out. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
they're-
Yeah,
Like
you
those
got-
tropes
yeah.
are there on purpose.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on purpose and it's by design.
That's what they call meta.
Yeah.
I didn't think
Well, I
about
mean, it was
that.
meta for the first time,
Yeah.
really. So, yeah, I mean, I would argue that you could do this with any one of these movies that are like this, and you could point this stuff out. Doesn't make it any less.
But in this movie, it's like multiple times.
Yeah, but you could do it with any one of them, I guarantee you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as many times as he's dropped that chainsaw, one of them times she could have just picked it up and it was over.
The ending
Holy
to
shit,
Friday the
That's what I was
13th.
going to say. Holy shit, the ending to Friday the 13th. Literally, probably the best in the Freddy, or the Jason franchise. The best one, right? That bitch couldn't hold on to a fucking weapon to save her life, her mother's life, and all of her pets.
So it's funny because they kind of call that out in Cabin in the Woods. So like she has the machete or whatever it was in the cellar and hacks at that one zombie dude. And then like they have like they're electrically charged so that you don't notice, but it shocks her hand and she drops it without thinking about it because of her adrenaline and thing like that. Like, okay, that's someone playing with, playing with the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, why would you drop everything?
She had a fireplace poker, hit Jason's mom with it once, drops it. Picks up something in the kitchen, I don't remember what now, hits Jason's mom with it, drops it. Goes into the fucking garage or whatever, picks up a rifle, can't get to the ammo, hits her with it once, drops it.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Anyway. So I'm just saying, you could make the same arguments for pretty much any kind of slasher film.
Final girls are dumb.
Pretty much.
Erin runs outside and flags down a trucker whom she tries to convince to go away from the Hewitt's house. But he stops to find help at the eatery. Erin sees Luda May and watches as Sheriff Hoyt arrives and talks to the trucker. Erin sees Henrietta watching over the kidnapped baby in a high chair when Henrietta walks outside to join Luda May and Sheriff Hoyt, who is talking to the truck driver. Erin sneaks the baby out of the eatery, places her in the sheriff's car, and hotwires it. Hoyt notices her and tries to stop her, but she runs him down and runs him over repeatedly until he is dead. Leatherface appears in the road with a chainsaw and tries to stop her, but he is too slow. Erin manages to escape with the baby unharmed, and he watches in frustration as she drives away. 2 days later, 2 investigating officers are killed by Leatherface while doing a crime scene investigation of the Hewitt house, and a narrator states that the case still remains open.
So let me get this straight. Him and the cameraman were the only 2 people there?
Right.
Why? You think if it was a massive crime scene like that, they would have had an entire force
And
of
they would
people.
wait
I had
to
all
send the
kinds of
cameraman.
questions about that.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense that him and a cameraman would be the only 2 walking through this house
And I
without
feel
like an entire fucking police force there.
Right, and they wouldn't send the cameraman in until after they've already investigated.
Cleared the place.
Right.
Well, that was their excuse, was that it hadn't been properly cleared. Which does happen, but I would think, considering the extent of these crimes and what they know, they would have been uber careful
Yeah, no shit.
about clearing this and making sure that nothing was left unturned. My opinion, but
Yeah, I mean, I agree, yeah.
I wouldn't think that they would go in half-cocked, so to speak.
Yeah. So do you guys have anything you want to cover?
No.
Oh, no, not really. It's mostly just notes for review, I guess.
This should be interesting. Let's go ahead and do that.
Let's rock out as bitch.
Whole time.
You know she got herself hyped up for that, too.
I don't know.
She was listening to Korn, she was like, yeah.
Corn?
Oh.
She's definitely not getting hyped
Then
up to
she was
corn.
and then she was listening to a little bit of Limp Bizkit, she was like, okay.
Still, no. Maybe
What then?
Slipknot. Maybe some of
That was
that,
gonna
or
be
some
my
Lamb
next
of God. Huh?
That was going to be the next band that I said.
Okay. Anyway, man, let's just go ahead and do this. Madison, let's start with you. What'd you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003? Sit
It
up.
was better than the first 3 movies.
4.
4 movies. I've seen
Buzz.
4 of these things already.
This is the
This is the
fifth
5th one.
Yeah, this is the remake, so really,
No
technically,
wonder
we're starting
I can't
over.
read
We are kind
properly
of starting over because there's
guys.
this one, the beginning. Then
And
there's
then they
that
started
Leatherface
again.
movie somewhere in there.
I think that was a whole nother one. I think it was just this one and the beginning.
In the beginning, and then there was
Then
3D.
they restarted it again.
They did 3D, and then they did Leatherface, which was a prequel to everything, like whenever he was a kid. Yeah, there was that one, and then there was the newest one that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
think
lot.
the beginning is the last one I've seen.
The beginning is the one that is prequel,
Prequel
to this one.
yeah.
And then there's Texas Chainsaw, which is Texas Chainsaw 3D, the one with Alexandria Daddario. And then they do Leatherface, which is like the prequel or like a movie about him as a kid. And that I don't fucking remember that movie very well. I remember not liking it. That one's got
Hannibal.
huh?
It's all like what they did with Hannibal because
And
they didn't do
kinda,
like
yeah,
go way back to how he became who he was.
exactly.
Yeah, basically.
But no, not that wasn't Hannibal. What was it?
It was
Yeah.
Hannibal.
Yeah, it was Hannibal.
It wasn't called Hannibal. It was called
No, I know that, but Hannibal was the second movie.
Hannibal was the second movie.
But it was like Hannibal Rising or something.
Yeah, it was Hannibal Rising. Yeah.
Where they showed him.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they did the Texas Chainsaw. Well, I think they just called it Chainsaw Massacre or something like that. The one on Netflix, which in my opinion is probably my favorite of all of them. So
I haven't seen it. Again, I don't think I've seen anything past this one. No, I saw another one. It was on. I watched it on Netflix, but I don't think it was the Netflix one. It was.
I really liked
some
the Netflix
cousin
one.
that was like
that's
inheriting
that's
something.
that's Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Yeah,
The one with
I saw that
Alexander
one.
Daddario. Get him, cuz.
That was lame.
It was really dumb. Although
I don't know why I
good
chose
God,
to watch it.
Another one, I'm like Alexander Daddario, dude.
Yeah, she's really
is
pretty.
fucking gorgeous.
Those eyes.
Who the fuck is she?
She's the one that's got those blue eyes. You'd know if you
in a
saw
nice
her.
rack, you know.
Like, what has she been in?
She was in the first season of True Detective. She was the one banging Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
She's been in a bunch of shit. She's in Wayfair Witches now, and Wayfair Witches, and she was in the fucking Baywatch movie remake or whatever. Yeah,
I didn't know they really. I didn't know.
Oh, she was in Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson movie.
Nope, never seen
Original.
it.
Anyway, she's awesome though. I like her. Anyway, go ahead with your rating.
Thank you, appreciate that. I'm just gonna give it a 5.5 because it's like another horror movie, honestly. But it's better than the first 5. I will admit. I'm pretty sure.
First 4?
First 4.
Same difference.
No,
Yeah.
there's a difference between 4 and 5.
No.
One,
whole another one.
yeah, whole one.
4 and 5-year-olds act the same to me. I don't really care.
All right, not the same
So,
thing, but okay.
It's the same thing. 5.5.
All right, so anyway, I think for me, it's got its problems for sure. Not a great movie, not a bad movie. It's just kind of like if you're in the mood for one of those movies, yeah. It's just I don't know, man. It's I guess it's a good. It's one thing I do appreciate is it kind of really does just jump into it. It doesn't. There's no screwing around a whole lot or anything. Like as soon as they pick up the hitchhiker within the first 5 or 10 minutes of the movie. And then it's just on from there. So it's good. I like that about it. It just really jumps into it. I do like some of the changes that they made. They gave the characters more story, more to care about. I like the more background. You know where they're going. They're going to Leonard Skinner concert. You know all these things. They establish characters a little better. I like the beginning with the hitchhiker. I thought the hitchhiker was much better change. Like that was a positive change for me in this one because
I agree.
She really sets up the tone of the movie from right there. Like when she pulls
It makes
that
more sense for her to be a victim rather than part of the family, in my opinion.
yeah. For her to pull that gun out and everything, I was like, holy shit. You know, that's so that, and then Ermey, dude, he fucking kills it in this movie. He's so good in this movie. He just like he really
such a happy psycho.
He's such a good psycho, man. He's so good at being crazy, man, and I love him for it. The Leatherface in this one is one of the best ones. The newer ones are better than the older ones. I loved his mask in this one. I thought it looked good. I like the fact that his face is fucked up. There's a lot of things that I like about him in this movie. I like the fact that he doesn't scream and wail like a fucking moron. I like the fact that he doesn't act like a baby like he did in the past movies. I like the characters in this movie. I like the main characters. I think they all play a good role. Jessica Biel, I like the fact that the main final girl, I like that she kind of has more of a personality and more of a background. The original Sally in the original, you didn't know anything about her. In this one, they kind of establish a little bit that like obviously she came from a troubled background, like she was in some trouble. She had hot wire cars, blah blah blah, which is cool. I'm good with that. I like a little bit of little bit of badassery, but that was what you had in the 2000s, man. Like every final girl had some badass
She had
backstory.
badassery, but she didn't do anything with it other than
She really
hotwire
did,
her.
and that was the biggest. One of my biggest complaints about this movie was she acted like a badass, but when it came down to push come to shove, there were several times where she could have picked up the chainsaw. She could have been smarter in some other situations. Just there's some things in this movie that like, why did you do that? And that really bothers me. The music in this is like whatever. I love the gore. I love the gritty tone of the movie. All that was good. I think the characters were a little too pretty for the movie. I think that the main characters were like, you know what I mean? They were just too pretty, in my opinion.
There was a lot of that in the early 2000s. Everybody had to be like perfect and pretty, and I would say that's one thing we do right now.
Now, yeah, for sure. But aside from that, man, the movie is just kind of mediocre at this point. You know, with what we have out now. And what we can see, and even for the time, I guess, really thinking about it, I mean, we had some real fucking bangers coming out in the early 2000s, and like especially in like 99, 2000. We had some good fucking movies coming out then. So I think for this, I'm going to go with Madison, and I'm going to give it. I was going to give it a 5, but I think I'm going to give it a 5.5. And it's not that great of a movie. It's good, but it's not something that I'm clamoring to get back to. You know.
I'd say for me the biggest plus, as I said before, what I think that Tobe Hooper did wrong was the quick, the raw violence and the raw fear, and then the quick deaths, and just there was no dread, there was no drawn out, there was no like playing with them.
Right.
And this one, drawing that stuff out was very good. It made the movie better, in my opinion. And as a remake, it has enough changes to make it unique, but not to be disrespectful to the first, because I still think that the first has lended a lot to the horror community, in my opinion. And then I guess probably one of my biggest pet peeves with this movie, other than all the other stuff we've talked about, but like the ending is so abrupt. It almost gives you whiplash a little bit.
In this one?
Yeah. Like, I know that they had to, like, so you start it with...
I didn't like the ending in this one as much as I did the original.
Correct. Yeah. Like, you start out with the cops, right? The cops show up and they're doing this video. So I know they had to end it that way, right? But, like, it makes sense that they had to do it, but, like, I don't know. I just feel like they just could have done it better. Like, they could have maybe not made it so, like, just, I don't know, it was just so fucking abrupt.
That's one thing I didn't mention, was that the ending of this movie, really, I didn't care for it as much, because I didn't feel like she just barely got away, like in the original. In the original, you're like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Right up until that very last minute of the movie. You're like, holy shit, she almost didn't get out.
Yeah.
In this one, you're like, she stole the car.
Like, she had enough time to go backwards, forwards,
She ran him over 3 fucking times, and then got away, and then the final jump scare of Leatherface, and she still gets away. Like, there's no fear in that. Like, none at all. Like, I'm not scared.
Yeah.
I thought the ending was weak.
It was. Yeah. It's super weak. And I think, honestly, that might be what killed the movie the most.
I agree.
In this, because I just felt like, I was like, man, like, they could have just really, really did what the original did, and kind of, she just barely got away by the skin of her teeth.
Yeah, because what the original does...
you're like, she's a badass, you know what I mean?
What the original does right is it shows you what people, like, when they are going through that raw fear, like, what they're gonna, like that, what the girl that played her, like, that look on her face as she's pulling away in the very last scene.
Yeah.
That pure, like...
Yeah, Sally was like...
I made it. Like,
she was so scared and freaked out that she was laughing.
Yeah, like, it is amazing. Yeah. That last moment in that movie is perfect. And the way that they ended it in this one, where it's just like, I don't know how we're going to end this, so just fucking end it. Like, that's how it felt. Mm-hmm. And then, like...
I also think that the baby or whatever, was unnecessary.
Well, yeah, so that was, like, pretty unnecessary in my opinion. And also, like, why did we have to know that he bought a ring? Like, okay, it was cool that they wanted to give a little bit of a background there to say, like, that they were trying to get this money so that they could have... I get that. Okay, cool.
And then she never even really finds out.
She never find out. If she found out about the ring... Like, if she had, like, been walking by and saw the ring and had, like, a moment where it's like, oh... that would have made a little bit more sense because it just adds a little bit more to her misery and it adds a little bit more to the story. I would have been okay with it at that point. But they never bring it full around. Like, I thought, oh, she's going to find out about that ring and it's going to be Saturn.
Never.
And she never does. So that was unnecessary. Like, why do we have to hear about that? Why do we have to know about that? It just makes me sadder. It doesn't even do anything for her. Like, that's stupid. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
It is stupid.
Like, it is.
It does nothing for her as a character.
No.
Yeah.
And then, like, the ending also leaves so many questions because they say, like, he was never found. Okay, well, what about his mom, Jedediah? The brother obviously lived because he's in the later ones. So what happened to him? Did they take him to the hospital? Like, what happened to the sister, I'm assuming, or the cousin, or whoever the fuck? Like, what happened to all these other people?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened there? And then, like, I don't know. And, like, in the first one, like, the Sawyers were pretty well known, right? Like, they always talk about, like, oh, they had the best barbecue, the best chili, and best all that shit, right? So, like, you assume that they were well known in this iteration as well, I guess. Because they had, like, this eatery and all that, and then they were like, oh, we're at the
But then you realize, no, they're just the only people that live in this fucking town.
Well, but you don't know that until the second one. But, like, they said, oh, we're at the Hewitt place.
No, I'm talking about in this one.
Well, but we don't know that necessarily. There's a lot of places where, like, your closest neighbor is 20 miles away, but you still know them.
That's what I'm saying is, like, it seems like in this movie, like, they're the only ones that exist within this town.
Yeah, but, there's a lot of places that are like that, though. So, like, in the first one, they were like that, where they were, like, 20 miles away from everybody, but they still knew them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, in this one, it's like, when they showed up, and they're like, we're at the Hewitt place. Was anybody surprised? Was it, where was the outrage or where was the backlash that you seem to get out of the other films? Whereas in this one, they just show up, yeah, we're at the Hewitt place. Like, I don't know,
right.
you lose a little bit of this flavor that you had in the other ones from the ending. I was really disappointed in the ending, I guess is what I'm going to say. But overall, the movie, I didn't hate it. So, I'll give it a 6.
That's better than I gave it.
That's how I feel. It's a 6.
Yeah, a lot more to say, too. Sorry, Karen.
No, it's
not, I mean, like I said, it's a very mediocre movie at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna split it down the middle. I'll just do a straight 5. The opening scene was good, with the headshot. Arlie Ermey is probably the best character in the movie. The ending I didn't really care for. Like you said, there was this kind of tension, at the end of the original, and this one
and it just did it better.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
we get it.
Yeah.
And some of the shit that you brought up, like you go on to the next house after you just escape the next house, like what do you expect?
You don't think they fucking know?
Yeah, like like them being the only people in said town, like you're just gonna play this
common sense.
Yeah, giant cat and mouse.
And that's
game
why I think that she's just not a good final girl. Like,
no, I told her, I said I didn't like her fucking at all. I thought she was fucking whiny.
Yeah.
Like I did not care for it. Like you thought the chick from the first one screamed a lot. I did not care for Jessica Biel's.
I didn't care for Jessica Biel either. I did like the fact that she didn't scream near as much.
I agree. She didn't scream nearly as much as
yeah, I'll go with a 5.
That has to be like a thing to like her for.
4 or a 5?
No, it's a 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about where I figured it was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not a bad movie,
but it's not a good movie.
But it's not a good movie. Like it'd be
good.
One you'd flip on in 7 years.
Yeah, like, or you put in the background or something, you know, because it's a chainsaw movie. But
well, kind of like this time around, I thought, I remember liking this. Like, let's see what it's about, and I remembered bits and pieces of it. What I remembered was still accurate.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think it's a bad movie. It's just there's so many things that, like, as you're watching it now, and especially being the kind of movie people that we are, I guess, like, I'm watching it and I'm just kind of like, that, what? Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It's just not great.
That's really what it is. It's, like I said, it's just one you can turn your brain off and watch if you want.
It's run of the mill. It's right down the middle.
I could see it being better if you were drunk and with friends. Like, because it's a movie you could definitely be like,
watch this shit.
scream at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Together.
I mean, I gave it the 6 because of the dread factor. I really liked that they were played with rather than.
I do like that. I like that
quickly.
a lot.
I would agree.
That drives the intensity of it. So I like that.
It ups that fear factor a lot because
I agree.
if it's over quickly, then what's the point? What's so scary for the movie? But like when it's drawn out, it makes it that much more intense.
Yeah. Yep. So Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Waiting on you.
Okay. While we're guessing,
52.
Oof. For critics,
Mm-hmm.
I bet it's lower.
Probably.
I'll go 64.
Oh, really? I'm gonna go. You said 50. If I'm gonna go 40, 40.
You got it. It's 37.
I was gonna say 38.
It's 37 critics.
Yeah, I know. I figured the critics did.
What did you say?
I said 40.
52.
He would have got it.
That's what I said.
That's what you
Oh,
said.
you looked at me when you said he got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
said-
got it.
I said he got it.
He got it.
No, I said he got
I didn't see you do the head shake. See?
I
I don't notice things.
don't notice things, but he knows shit though. He knows stuff. He knows
Welcome
stuff.
to
He
my
just don't
life.
see shit.
Welcome to my life. All right, so audience.
52.
I bet the audience is higher.
64.
Not much though.
52.
What'd you say?
64. I'm sticking with 64.
That's a good answer. What'd you say? 52? I'm gonna go right down the middle. I'm gonna give it a 50.
You two have to go for a tiebreaker.
For real?
Who? Hit those two?
Those two.
What'd she say?
52.
What'd you say? 64?
64.
Oh, I thought we were doing rock, paper, scissors.
So they both.
You can
won?
do that. As a matter of fact, why don't you just do that? Rock, paper, scissors.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, if you do another, you can do another.
Well, yeah,
Wait,
we have
in
to
between
guess.
what numbers? 52 and
64.
64?
Well, if it's a tiebreaker, that means it's dead center of those two numbers.
Correct. That's why I said that they should do
Oh.
rock, paper, scissors.
That makes sense. You can do rock, paper, scissors with me?
Because you do some quick math and you've got the number.
You got the number, yeah.
Well, I would have.
Well, what's
No
the number?
offense.
How about that? There you go. First one to say it wins.
48. 47. 46.
Okay, now you're just cheating. You guys suck. What's the number?
52 and 64. 8, 4.
49.
It's 58.
I already said that. That's the first thing I said.
You said 48.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Whoops, my mouth was
Oh, see, I should automatically win that.
I guess I win.
Karen's like, I win.
Are we not doing rock, paper, scissors?
So,
Is that not
like,
happening?
here's the craziest thing to me. Like, I went through all of these, and, like, there was actually so many good reviews. And out of all the bad ones, the ones that I saw over and over and over again, this is a useless remake, which I disagreed with. So I didn't really pay much attention to those, because I didn't really think it was useless.
I don't think any movie that's made is completely useless.
No,
That can be
I don't
debatable,
agree with that either.
I guess it's debatable.
And then the second one was Michael Bay ruined this. How did he ruin it exactly? He was a fucking producer.
Yeah, he didn't direct it or write it or anything. He just
No.
produced it.
Yeah, so.
His money.
Yeah.
Maybe there wasn't enough explosions. Maybe that they were expecting a lot of explosions. Since Michael Bay is known for explosions.
It would have been cool if every
That's
time
how
he
he-
cut something with a chainsaw, it exploded.
That's how he ruined it.
What was that? Was that on?
Where's my sword?
Shit. What was that cartoon? Where every time they dropped something or put something down, it exploded.
Oh. I don't remember.
Was that the one with Master Shake and all them? Was that?
Are you talking about
Aqua Tween?
Aqua Teen? Was that
Hunger
Aqua
Force?
Teen? Where every time they
I
set
think it
something
was.
down,
I think
everything
it
would
is.
explode. Like, it was for a couple of seasons. That didn't last like the whole thing.
Yeah,
but,
it
like,
was a joke throughout the episode. Like,
yeah.
it wasn't like one entire episode, but it was just kind of like you put something down.
An
and you see,
ongoing
like,
joke.
Yeah, it was like an ongoing
Yeah.
joke where like they would set something down or they drop something, it would just explode. And I didn't get the critics' consensus, so I apologize.
Yeah.
All right. Dylan H said, 2 stars, it's just a bad copycat of the original, with some original ideas to distinguish it, but not enough to validate why it needed to be rebooted in the first place. Sergey says half star. Part 5. Sadly, this remake is the worst so far and borderline blasphemous. Decently well shot, gritty look, and I enjoyed the first few minutes, but it quickly gets very obnoxious and boring, then drags. The thing I like the most about this one is the cool movie poster.
It was a cool movie poster. But Sergey, I just gotta say this. Sir, you're gay.
I actually agree with this person's assessment, for the most part. Maybe not everything, but for the most part.
Assessment.
It's a 1.5 star by Donald N. I wouldn't say 1.5, but this movie does a lot of things well, such as mostly good performances. The tone and aesthetics of the movie are good. Jessica Biel and Arlie Ermey are great. However, the writing is so incredibly bad that it nullifies everything good about it. Almost every character through the whole movie is reduced to being a brainless idiot, making the worst possible decisions at every opportunity. The ending is also incredibly abrupt and feels like the movie was never even finished.
So I will agree that Jessica Biel does do okay with what she's given, but I think she was the wrong choice for the role.
I agree.
Like, I'm not saying she's a bad actress or anything like that.
No, she's not.
I'm just saying that she was just a bad choice for this movie.
Who would you put in there?
I don't know, man. That's a good fucking question. Then or even now?
Well, back then.
Oh.
I'd have to really think about it, to be honest.
God,
with
you'd
you.
have to go back and like dig through your actresses.
Yeah, no
like,
shit. Back in
then.
2003.
Like
Honestly,
me personally, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I was just kind of curious.
I don't know.
I just think
I'd have to really
she's a
think
very
about it.
wooden. She's very wooden in this. I feel like
She's honestly, she's okay as an actress, but she's a very wooden actress anyway.
Yeah.
Most of the time when she's on camera, like she was in Blade 3, and she's usually put on, I mean, yeah, she was a badass in Blade Trinity, but she's sex appeal, man. That's all she is.
Yeah.
That's all she's ever been.
Well, I don't know. She played Candy Montgomery in that. You ever seen that, Candy?
Oh, yeah.
She did really well in that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give her that. Yeah. Was that
it was a Hulu show.
Yeah.
And it was based on a true story where this chick killed another chick over her husband.
Yeah, having an affair on her.
Oh, yeah, I remember you
It
watching
was very
that.
good. She did very well in that.
I'll agree with
I remember
that.
you watching that.
But that was also like recently, like it took her 20 years to hone her skills.
To figure it out. So,
but it's just back then she was just sex appeal,
yeah.
you know. And I think that this movie would have benefited from having less attractive people in it, or at the very least,
Normal people.
Yeah, not Jessica Biel level. You know, she's a 9 on the fucking scale. Like I want, give me a solid 6, 7. You know what I mean? Like in there, like she doesn't have to be ugly, but she doesn't have to be fucking a model. You know?
Yeah.
Like
Literally.
Sally Hardesty was like
She was just normal.
she was just normal looking chick. Like she wasn't attractive, but she wasn't ugly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She was just a normal girl that you could see walking down the street at any point. Yeah. And I like that about that. You know, same as the other characters. The other characters look like normal people.
Yeah.
You know, but in this, it's like, hell, the one dude's fucking ripped. He looks like a goddamn supermodel. You know, the boyfriend's like 6'4" and like chiseled chin and like. You know what I mean?
Look like he belongs in the 70s.
No, not at all. So I'm just like in all these characters, and then they just happen to pick up this hitchhiker chick who's like making out with him in the back seat, who also happens to be super attractive. You know, like why?
Yeah, because all hitchhikers that you're going to pick up look that way. I promise.
Right.
The original wasn't perfect, but it's a classic for a reason. This is massive plot holes that really didn't make any sense. In the original movie, the hitchhiker was a member of the family, but here is a survivor, which they somehow forgot.
I like that idea, though.
Well, they said which they somehow forgot about.
They didn't.
They didn't forget about her. Plus, the van comes up from behind her, going the same direction they are going. The van was to the back of her, which might look good cinematically, but story-wise, it means that she was walking from the killer cannibal, but wasn't walking away from the killer. Means she wasn't walking from the killer cannibal, but towards. It's worded weird. It's not like the van turns around or anything.
It brings up a valid point.
Yeah,
because I noticed that
but
they
maybe
pick
she
her
got
up
lost.
and they start driving forward. They keep going, and then she's like, "Where are you going? You can't go this way." Like, bitch, this is the way you were walking,
I
and the
agree.
way they were going originally.
Maybe she got lost though.
Maybe
walking.
I don't know.
And then when they were driving, she saw the signs. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make sense from a movie perspective, but, like, it's a possibility. I don't know. To make sense, she should have had her back to the camera walking toward the van. Also, I don't think where she hid the gun would have stayed. Plus, if she had a gun...
Maybe she does Kegels.
It could be. Plus, if she had a gun to dramatically blow a huge hole through her head, why not? I don't know, kill the very human cannibals? Just a thought. Second, the prequel after this mentions the slaughterhouse closing, and rather than move, they just turn to cannibalism. But here there is animals all over the place, and the slaughterhouse is still in full swing.
I don't understand that, because the slaughterhouse looks like, in some areas of it, looks like it's an operational slaughterhouse, and then other areas it looks completely abandoned.
I agree.
Like the locker room, I'm like, is this abandoned? Or do they just not use this area of the facility anymore?
Right.
Like, I don't understand. I didn't understand that.
I didn't either. Because
like, the old locker
remember,
room looked completely abandoned.
I do remember that the whole point of, like, them turning to cannibalism was because there was nothing to eat or whatever. But why wouldn't you just move? So stupid the reason was in the next movie, it's still a reason. In the original movie, there was no reason either, but the only animals around were, like, long dead and eaten. Plus, it looks like it was a farm that the soil burned out of. This is just a lazy cash grab remake for an IP they already own and never saw the original. Well, if you never saw the original one, though. Yeah. The sheriff was scarier than the massacre.
The sheriff, I mean, honestly, Arlie Ermey was probably...
The best character.
The scariest part of the whole movie. And probably the best character.
It had terrible acting, but it was the best sequel.
Who said? Somebody said that?
I don't...
Sequel, though. It's a fucking remake.
Right. I don't like this movie. Half star.
Okay. Valid.
The only thing getting massacred is my interest. Half star.
Okay.
Two of the only saving graces that this film is Arlie Ermey's performance, and that the main protagonist survives. Spoiler alert. Otherwise, watch Jaws instead.
Normally you put the spoiler alert before, not after.
I mean, you know that. Like, she's gonna survive. That's how these movies work.
Mm-hmm. Especially in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I can't believe whether somebody tell me that those actors and actresses are good or fine. Oh, please. Beale shouldn't be in a horror movie. She destroyed it. Was she scared that act as a frightened girl will damage her beauty or something?
In some areas of the movie, she does a good job of conveying that she's afraid and freaked out. I've never seen a girl lose so much snot in a movie. Like, 'cause snot was always running down her nose, like, from crying and shit. But
this just hurt me to read. Hurt my head a little bit. Frightened girl will damage her beauty.
What?
Frightened girl will damage her beauty.
That's literally what he said.
I think you damaged my brain.
I didn't. Whoever wrote it doesn't even have a name. They couldn't even put a name on it.
I don't think that she was trying to be attractive at all. Like, throughout this movie, like, her hair is very flat. She doesn't, like, she's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that what she's wearing is, it screams sex appeal, but, like, her face in general, like, her crying, her attire isn't chosen by her.
No.
It's chosen by people who, in the movie.
Yeah.
Her herself, I don't think that she gave a shit about the way she looked when trying to convey her emotions.
No.
I don't think that's on her. I think that's more on the studio and things like that, saying we need her attractive in this movie.
Oh, sure. Could the remake of the legendary original film be good? Well, yes, it was. I'm just kidding. It's fucking horrendous in every way possible. Compared to the original, this was just awful. Somehow they managed to do the story worse and ruin it. Honestly, how do you do that? I agree. The acting is horrible. I agree with you. Beale is just awful, as well as the entire cast. The direction and writing was done horribly. Where the original was shocking and scary, this is a giant cliched joke and a pitiful attempt to restart the franchise, which sadly they did. The shit remake is a waste of an hour and 30 or so minutes, and as far as I'm concerned, the negatives should be burned. As usual, Michael Bay turns everything he works on into shit. That's it.
All right, let's move on. Let's get into shit. Which one is it? I'm gonna guess.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
Yes. Film critic Roger Ebert gave this film a rare 0 stars rating. To avoid an NC-17 rating in the USA, the more graphic shots of Morgan's death were cut. The original version of the scene featured the shot of the chainsaw slicing into his crotch and then having intestines and blood falling out of him. The cut version cuts away when the chainsaw is about to cut him and totally cuts out the intestines falling out of his body. The hitchhiker death scene was also severely cut. The original scene has her ear flying off her head and the blood and brain matter being more dark in color and more in the amount flying out of her head. Jedediah was originally supposed to be killed by Leatherface for helping Aaron and Morgan escape, but the scene was scrapped for being too intense. A then unknown John Larroquette provided the narration in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Talked about that in the trivia for that one. Despite being a distinguished actor in the years since, he happily agreed to reprise his role for this remake. The filmmakers couldn't afford as many fake cows as required for the slaughterhouse scenes, resulting in some of the cows on hooks being real. This was probably when it was not the best experience for actress Jessica Biel, who is a vegan. Maybe she was screaming for real. Maybe. On his final day of shooting, Eric Balfour stripped down, threw his wardrobe back to the crew, and walked off the set wearing only a baseball cap. Footage of his departure is shown on the making of documentary on the special edition DVD Blu-ray. That was it.
He walked up the stage naked with a hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Who did?
Eric Balfour.
Camper.
Last day of filming, he stripped down.
I'm sure no one
He took off all the
minded.
clothing that they gave him to wear, stripped down, butt-ass naked, threw him the clothes, put on a baseball cap, that was it, and walked off.
I'm
Is it
sure
just
no
on the
one
Blu-ray?
minded.
Kemper was
No,
the
it was on a
blonde dude?
documentary. It was footage
the
of his...
boyfriend.
No,
Oh,
Kemper
the
was
boyfriend?
the boyfriend, the
Yeah,
first
the
one
one
that
he
died.
made he made a face out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, footage of his departure is shown in the making of documentary on the special edition DVD Blu-ray.
Oh, I got.
Did he walk away pissed off or something, or?
I don't know, it just says, on his final day of shooting, Eric Balfour stripped down, threw his wardrobe back to the crew, and walked off the set wearing only a baseball cap.
No
Y'all
one
gave
minded,
me 10
though.
minutes. I'm gonna give you a fucking piece of my ass.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool, though.
It seems more like that's just something he would do.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
I don't think it really had anything to do with being like...
It was more of his badass...
mad.
Like, I'm going to be more like James Dean. You know what I mean? Like,
More like, hey, you guys, you want to see my ass? You're
check
about
this
to.
out. Look at my balls.
At the end of it, just be like.
Yeah, as he's walking away. Funny.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking
It's
box?
in the box.
I did it.
Woo woo. Aaron's becoming a natural. Eric better quit skimming.
Please be something cool.
Please not be a horror movie.
Weird Science.
Oh,
What's
wow.
that?
That's not a horror movie.
I love this movie.
Is it a comedy?
It's from the 80s.
Yeah. 80s. Two nerds create a woman.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I've
I think
ever
I've
seen this movie.
heard
If I
of
have,
it.
it's been a really long time
You've never
ago.
seen it?
I don't know. I think
Oh
I
my
have.
God. This is one of my favorite 80s movies.
Give me the
It is-
But if I have, I haven't seen it
Give me
in
the
like...
keys.
I bet I haven't seen it in like 30 years. Yeah, if I have seen it, it's probably been like the early 90s.
Oh my God, dude! Like this movie is
Michael
one of
Berryman.
my favorite 80s movies ever.
All right, well, next week, people, we're doing fucking Weird Science.
You know, we cut out
Weird
the
Science.
internet stuff, and it was still 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's all
we
right.
had a lot
though.
to say about this movie.
Yeah, we
Which is
did.
weird because like the shorter ones were probably cooler movies. Than
Yeah.
Usually, that's usually what it is. Usually, if we get on a movie that we really like, we don't have a lot to say about it because we're like, we love
Well,
this movie. There's
usually
nothing to hate on.
much to take apart in
Yeah.
those movies either. Usually,
So, like movies that you don't like as much, you tend to talk more about because you tend to talk about what you didn't like about it.
Nah, y'all just cut us on the right Tuesday while we were all judgy.
judgy.
So
We're
but
judgmental
we're
today.
Vody today.
Yeah, we're all being divas, so.
Divas. I'm no fucking diva. Trust me.
Everybody,
Hi.
hi.
I'm not doing that.
Well, Dad, you're the only one that didn't do it.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You're such a- No, I won't even
Early
call
Ermey,
on
baby.
that.
I got a Coors Light. Coors Light and a gun.
No, he doesn't.
Let me go get on my bike.
He doesn't
All right.
drink beer. He's not a real man.
I don't drink a lot of beer, honestly.
Drink
I
your
like beer,
Coors,
but it's
get
been
on
a
a
while.
motorcycle.
I don't mind
start
Coors
shooting
Light,
your
though,
gun.
honestly. I don't mind
Coors
Coors.
is pretty good. Not bad.
I don't mind Coors.
You don't just drink, get on your bike, and be like, anyways, I started blasting. And you like,
I throw was a little pea shooter, like some cat guns
That'd be funny.
on my
Don't
like,
forget-
10 speed.
Don't forget to put like some American flags on the back.
Yeah, I'll get some cap guns and like a 10 speed
With
and get me a
so
root beer.
Put the cards on the
yeah, the cards
And the
and
spokes.
the
so it makes
spokes.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
noise. Yeah.
Yeah, and a root beer.
Yep.
I told you, got a bike, a gun, and a beer, a root beer.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a child.
All right.
He wonders I am where I am now.
Don't forget to check us out down there in the description and stuff. Follow us and all that shit. Next week we're doing Weird Science. Where can we watch that? Is that a thing?
We own it.
Well, they all don't though.
Hold please. Your call is very important to me.
Arrow released it a couple years ago.
Nope. That's definitely not.
Weird Science. Oh,
You
that
can
is
do
not the right
Paramount
one.
Plus.
Oh, that's a TV show.
Yeah.
Fubu, Paramount Plus.
Fubu, Paramount Plus. That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
Unless you want to rent it, it's on everything else.
Or you can just be cool and own it.
This is the movie that made me think about the fact that, you know, what's his name? Anthony Michael Hall always played a nerd. But, like, there's no way if he, like, went to, like, our school or something, he wouldn't have been a nerd. He would have been one of the cool kids.
There's a lot of nerdy people in movies that you're like, there's no way you'd be a nerd.
There's
at my
no way
school.
you would be a nerd.
You'd be one of the coolest guys in school.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, next week, Weird Science. If you want to watch it, it's on Fubo and Paramount Plus.
Yes.
And until next week,
Bye.
see you when we have a new president. Oh shit!
What'd you do?
Fuck some shit up. That's what I do. Bye.